A lot of storylines. There is a gigantic amount of storylines actually to come out of this game here in the Pacific Cup. I think we're good to go. Hey guys, how you going? So I'm BKR Sport. We are ready to fire up here for a massive game of rugby league as we find Australia taking on New Zealand in Christchurch at Apollo Project Stadium, which is going to be a big one. Let's see if Australia can make up for the embarrassment that was the Pacific Cup final last year. Now, I will also clarify, however, though, that this isn't the final. So regardless, these two teams are more than likely to face each other in the final. If Australia were to beat New Zealand today and then Tonga were to beat New Zealand next week, then okay, sure, that means it'll be Australia versus Tonga. However, that is doubtful, right? That is doubtful. Despite the fact the Kiwis have got a few injuries and a few players out, that is doubtful to think that New Zealand wouldn't be getting at least one win out of either Australia or Tonga. But they are going up against an angry team after what we saw in New Zealand. I don't know, was that in Christchurch or was that Hamilton? I think it was. I don't think it was in Auckland. I think it might have been in Hamilton last year in that final. I'm not too sure. Obviously, let me know in the chat if I have got that wrong there. But yeah, look, I'm excited for this one, man. Like, obviously, last night was a big win for the Fiji Bati over the Cook Islands, which was expected. Next week, Papua New Guinea will take on Cook Islands, and if Papua New Guinea win that one, then they will play whoever comes third in this group. So before we do get into the team lineups and whatnot, I'll explain how the Pacific Championships work, because a lot of people are confused by it. It is a better system than last year. Still got work to be done, but it's a better system than last year. So the teams who come first and second in the Pacific Cup, which the Pacific Cup is Australia, New Zealand, and Tonga. Whoever comes first and second, let's for the sake of it say Australia and New Zealand come first and second. That means that they will play each other in the final at CommBank Stadium on November 10th. Now that means that if Tonga were to come third, they would play the winner of the Pacific Bowl, which right now is looking pretty likely to be Papua New Guinea Kumals. Obviously that group is Papua New Guinea, Fiji, and the Cook Islands. The Cook Islands, with their dramatic loss last night, it's just not going to be happening unless they won by a good old 60-odd points, right? So that's just simply not going to... Actually, no, how much would they need to be winning by? They need to win by 40 points next week over Papua New Guinea, and that's just not happening. So let's assume Papua New Guinea win against the Cook Islands by 1 point. That means they would play against Tonga in the final as well, which would mean there is a promotion relegation. Whoever wins that, I believe, is in the Pacific Cup next year, and whoever loses that would be out. That'd be a good game. That would be a good game. We saw Papua New Guinea and Tonga take on each other in the World Cup, where it was Tonga who won 32-16, which is actually quite a close game there, you know, especially considering there is a lot of hype around Tonga. There is a lot of really big belief around Tonga. Papua New Guinea were able to give them a good go, and there was actually quite a few controversial calls in that game. But with that being said, look, I really look forward to seeing that game. However, let's get into today's game between New Zealand and Australia, because there is a lot of storylines here. Obviously, the last time these two teams played, it was a 30-0 victory to the Kiwis. 30-0 last year in this tournament. It was an embarrassment for any Australian, and I am Australian, so I'll say that on behalf of myself, and I'm pretty certain that pretty much everyone would be able to agree there. I just want to go and have a look at what the scoreline was in the previous one. So 2023, there were Australia beat New Zealand 36-18 the week beforehand, before obviously New Zealand went on to win that game 32-0. So, and that one was in Hamilton, I was right, and the game in Australia was in Melbourne. So you see the home team won pretty convincingly in both. Obviously New Zealand with a more convincing win, and it did out a lot of their players. It did really kind of shine a light in regards to the Australian team. They kind of just go in expecting to win games, and you can't do that. As fans, we are able to do that because we don't have a direct correlation and direct impact in regards to the result, win or lose, of the game. But the players cannot just say, we're Australia, we're going to win, and go in with that expectation. It's just not possible, right? And then you do see, you know, games where they do lose, which is exactly what happened last year. But New Zealand were good. They were very, very good in that game, and you've got to give them all the credits that they deserve. But I will also go onto the flip side here and say to the New Zealand fans who say, well, no, Australia is shit, you know, we smacked you, all this sort of jazz, and Australia are done. It was one game. Right? It was one game. It was one game. So Australia still are the current World Cup champions. They've won like the last 4 in a row or whatever World Cups, and have won 9 of the last 10 World Cups, whatever it is. But that doesn't take away from how incredible New Zealand were on that day in that game. But now is your turn to see if you can be consistent with it. Now is your turn, New Zealand, to go on with that and to prove that you are the dominating force in rugby league right now. Right? And that's where the big thing comes. It's like the Chicago Bulls. Don't worry. I complain about them a lot. They go and lose to the Pelicans, they go and flog the Milwaukee Bucks, and they go get absolutely whooped by the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's all well and good to have that win against the Bucks, but you've got to be consistent, man. You've got to be able to be consistent with it, which is what we need to see out of New Zealand here today. Now, obviously, New Zealand, this is their first game of the Pacific Cup. They did not play last week. Australia took on Tonga, where Australia won that game 18-0. Now, that was a okay game for Australia. It wasn't anything spectacular. Tommy Trbojevic, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, and Tommy Dearden all scored a try in that game. However, if you watch the game, you know that it wasn't actually as convincing as you would like. Tonga actually turned up, and if Tonga had better halves, I might argue that Tonga would have won that game. I may argue that Tonga would have won that game if they had better halves there. And that's not me trying to just, shit on Nsai Katoa and Tuimawala here, but I do think that that is a valid statement that they were all over Australia for large periods of that game. They had a great forward pack in Adam Fanor-Blake and Felix Kafusi, Hamoli Olakawatu, Eliasa Katoa, Jason Tamalolo, even Saliva Havili was doing his job there in the hooker. Their bench was Paseka, Kolomatangi, Setili Tupanuia, and Sonny Luke. That was really running rampant over the guys like Patrick Carrigan, Collins, Harry Grant, Crichton, Murray, and Yo. Yeah, so Tonga actually gave it a red-hot crack against this Australian side just last week. And again, if they had a better halves duo that were able to be a lot more clinical in regards to their attack, I'm telling you right now, I believe Tonga would have actually won that game because they would have led earlier on when they would have had all those opportunities, had all those brilliant opportunities to attack, they had all those brilliant opportunities to score, but obviously never were able to do it because they just didn't have that finishing touch on them. Whereas, New Zealand do have that ability. So, I give New Zealand every chance to win today. They are pretty heavy underdogs, but I give them every chance to win today. But let's get into the two-team lineups for this clash today. Obviously, the Kiwis are the home team. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Get in the chat. Let us know your thoughts, whether you're Kiwi, whether you're Aussie, wherever you are. Let us know what your thoughts are about this game. But all right, the fullback is my boy, Keano Kenny, on debut. Love this for him, man. He's a humble king. He's a good man, and I'm really glad for him and his family. Obviously, I have a lot to do with Keano, and I'm really proud to see him get his first debut start here for the New Zealand Kiwis, and he's going to tear it up today. I may be Australian, but I love him, so I look forward to seeing Keano Kenny absolutely tear it up today. Go to the wings, Jermaine Asako and Will Warbrick. Obviously, Keano from the Titans. Then we go Jermaine Asako and Will Warbrick. Jermaine from the Dolphins and Will Warbrick from the Melbourne Storm. You go to the centres of Matty Tomoko from the Raiders and Peter Hiku, who I believe is in the Super League now, if I'm not mistaken. Go to the 5'8", Chance Nickel-Klokstad, who is obviously at the Warriors. I nearly said Raiders, but he's obviously at the Warriors. Normally plays as a fullback or a centre. Is in the 5'8" here today, so I'm concerned about that. I am. I'm not going to lie. I am concerned about Chance being into the 5'8" position. I understand being able to shuffle players around, but I just have never really seen him as a 5'8" to go forward with. But let's see if I get proven wrong here today. The halfback, Sean Johnson from the Warriors. Looking forward to seeing this. Obviously, wasn't his best year by any stretch of the imagination in 2024. 2023, he was very close to winning the Dally M. Don't want to hear it. I know what people are going to say. Don't want to hear it. But it was very close to winning the Dally M. This year, not so great. However, a bit of a swan song. Give him a crack. He's still a very good player. Let's see if he can deliver on the big stage once again, like we know he can, alongside an incredible backline there. I do get a little bit concerned, however, with Peter Hiku into the centres, however. I feel like defensively, he may not be up to competing with guys like Coates, Hamiso, Tommy Trbojevic, and Sakid Lomax, but we'll see, man. We will see. But that 1 through 7, solid there, but the Chance one is a little bit interesting, and Peter Hiku is a little bit concerned. But everyone else, love it. And we just need to see Sean Johnson continue on with the play that we know he can be. The props, front row forwards, James Fisher-Harris, who is the captain from the Panthers, now the Warriors going into 2025, and Nafahu White, who I believe is Roosters, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think right now, but I believe the Roosters. Number 9 is Phoenix Crossland from the Newcastle Knights. You go to the back row, Isaiah Papali'i was at the Tigers, now is at the Panthers going into next year. Then you got Scotty Sorensen from the Panthers as well in the back row. Joseph Tarpany, the big bopper. He is in the lock. I do prefer him as a front rower, but he's also a very, very good lock there, being a bit of more of a distributor as well in that position. And then you go to the interchange, which is Griffin Neem, Cody Nikorima, Marata Niokore, and Jordan Riggy, with the 18th man of placement being my boy Aaron Clark. Look, overall, you look at this Kiwi team, there definitely is a few holes here and there, but they're going to work hard for it. They're going to go hard for it. They've got a good back line of 1 through 5. Their halves are going to be the big test here today to see if they can work alongside each other, and Chance and Sean in this specific positioning. Sean obviously always here as a 7, but Chance being mixed in. Tamati Martin would normally be, or Shannon Harris Tavid. Oh, Jerome Hughes is obviously normally as the 7, and then Dylan Brown. So yeah, there is quite a few changes there. So it's going to be really intriguing to see how that 6 and 7 duo does work today. And then the forwards are very, very solid. And if they can play anywhere to the standard that we saw from Tonga last week, then New Zealand will absolutely be up for the challenge here against these Aussies. But with that being said, let's get into the Australian team, who do need to work a lot harder. They do. And I think they know it. I think they know it. And Mal should be getting them right up for it. I have my concerns about Mal, but he should be getting them right up for this game. Now, the fullback is Dylan Edwards from the Penrith Panthers. The wingers, Xavier Coates from the Melbourne Storm, and Zach Lomax from the once Dragons, now Eels. You go to the centres of Hamiso Tabuai-Fedora from the Dolphins and Tommy Trbojevic from Manly. You go to the 5'8", Tom Dearden from the Cowboys, and then the halfback is Mitchell Moses from the Eels. That halves pairing didn't necessarily shine last week, so let's see how it goes this week. Obviously, the halfback for New South Wales and the 5'8" there for Queensland having to mix in together. Normally, you would see Munster and Nathan Cleary or Cherry Evans and whatnot, but they have decided to go away from Cherry Evans. Cleary is injured and Munster is injured, so these two indeed, and there's nothing negative being said about them, but obviously, normally you would see Nathan Cleary and Cameron Munster as at 6 and 7. So that does go to show that it's a very similar kind of thought process right now in regards to New Zealand. They're playing with players who wouldn't normally be their halves, and then Australia's on the same thing. However, at least Tommy Dearden is a 5'8", and Mitchell Moses is a halfback, but so is Sean Johnson. Chance, however, compared to Dearden, you're obviously leaning with Dearden, one of the best 5'8" in the game. 1 for Queensland and also 2 for North Queensland Cowboys. You go to the props, Patrick Carrigan, Lindsay Collins, Paddy Carrigan for the Broncos, Collins for the Roosters, and then Harry Grant, the hooker from the Melbourne Storm. The back row, Angus Crichton from the Roosters and Cameron Murray from the Rabbitohs. The 13, Isaiah Yeo, captain from the Penrith Panthers. You go to the interchange, Matty Burton from the Dogs, Mitchell Barnett from the Warriors, Reuben Cotter from the Cowboys, and Hudson Young from the Raiders, with the 18th man replacement being Ben Hunt from the Dragons for now. Let's see how that one goes. There's a lot of media talk about that one. Overall, there's no excuses for Australia. I don't want to hear it, man. I really don't want to hear it. There's no Nathan Cleary and there's no Munster. There's no, players here and there. Like, honestly, it should not matter. It should not matter. The depth of the Australian tournament should the depth of the Australian talent pool should always be good enough to win any game, even if it's against the Kiwis. And that's not a disrespectful thing to the Kiwis, because the Kiwis are in a similar boat, but there's a reason why Australia win as often as they do. I don't feel like Australia can ever have excuses, because even if you take, an injury out of the equation for Australia, they do have quality enough in regards to being able to bring that next line in. For example, Tom Dearden from the Cowboys, who also plays for Queensland, and for example, Mitchell Moses from the Eels, who also plays for New South Wales. But then again, he also plays in a similar role as a backup to Nathan Cleary, but we'll see how that one goes into next year, considering New South Wales won the Origin Series this year. So I don't believe that Australia should ever have an excuse. Unless you're taking out every player from 1 to 13, you're playing a completely depth, but then you're still looking at some incredible players playing. It's just obviously not the first option. I don't give them any excuse. So I am going to tip them today, because I believe that they should win this one, but I am absolutely not surprised if New Zealand win, because they absolutely have a good enough team to win this game, and especially with it being in New Zealand, there is so many storylines come out of this game. Do New Zealand be consistent with it and go and prove dominance right now, that they are able to continue on from last year? But with that being said, does that also then mean that's the same as last year, where New Zealand win in New Zealand, but Australia win in Australia, and because it switched around this time, Australia wins the big game? Or we go to Australia's side of the perspective and we say, are Australia back and firing again despite a pretty poor performance against Tonga? Are they going to back up, an average performance against Tonga that still got them the win with a better performance here to really assert dominance again and get back into their consistent winning ways in Australia? Or if they lose this game, does that mean that Australia has dropped off? Does that mean that they are kind of back in the mix there with New Zealand on a consistent level, not just a one-off, on a consistent level? Does that open up the the ability for 2026 for somebody else to win the World Cup. I don't know. There's a lot of storylines here, and I don't think that necessarily today will design the next 3 years for Australia. But if it is very, very close again and New Zealand do get the victory, then it does kind of give you that question of, are New Zealand the best team in the world at the moment? I don't necessarily believe that is the case, but if they're winning with they've got changes in their team. If they're winning with that, and especially considering Australia have so much to play for, the question does come in there. But I will tip Australia here 1-12. Again, would not be surprised if Queensland, New Zealand win this game. Would like to see a good game. Obviously, last night was a really disappointing game. Fiji obviously won by a significant amount. However, that was to be expected. Just like that first 15 minutes, the audio was awful, and also the broadcast was awful in Fiji. So hopefully this one does improve a little bit. Hopefully it does improve a little bit. But all right, guys. Let's get into the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Obviously, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. And, get into the comment section. Let us know. Mr. Sando, man, for 38 months. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, 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 son. Fire it up. Fire it up. Bulldozer says, G'day, Blaze. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Great to see Alonso back for your Bulls. Yeah, no, he didn't have a good game today. But, he's good to see Alonso back there with the Kangaroos. George says, how are you today? Wish my Bulls were better. Haraoni Parada says, we need definitely our championship today. Well, New Zealand don't win today. Like, if New Zealand win this game, the championship's not done. There is still today, and then there is also the final. If New Zealand were to lose today, there is a chance that they could not make the final, because they have to play Tonga next week. So if New Zealand lose today, that would open up next week's game between New Zealand and Tonga, and whoever won that game would go through to the final to play Australia at CommBank Stadium in a few weeks' time. So, this is no final here today. This is just effectively the group stage, right? And then whoever wins this, if Australia wins this game, it confirms them in top spot. If Australia loses this game, then I guess there's still a slight chance that they could actually, if Australia loses, there is a very minimalistic chance that they could actually have to go into that promotion relegation game and miss the final altogether with Tonga and New Zealand. That would then rely upon probably New Zealand winning by maybe 20 points or whatever over Australia here, or maybe 10 points over Australia, and then Tonga beating New Zealand by 10 points next week, which would then put Australia out of the top two positions, which would then obviously push them into that promotion relegation Papua New Guinea, and we all know how that will go. Australia will win that game. However, that would be such an embarrassment to Australian Rugby League if that was to happen and to not come in the top two spots for a final. A second spot to New Zealand is kind of manageable in regards to the conversation, but outside of that, it's that would definitely throw a massive, massive spanner in the work in regards to that one. Toon says, how many minutes before the game begins? In about 15 minutes time, man. In about 15 minutes time. Can you guys just confirm for me that the internet's going well as well, please? Can you just please confirm for me that the internet's going well? Just because here in Fiji, it's always a little bit how you're going. Mineral says, Oz 22-10. Yeah, I don't mind it. I would like to see the Kangaroos come out with some aggression here and to show what Australia should be playing like. Again, last week wasn't an impressive outing. It just wasn't. It wasn't a spectacular outing there from Australia. It was quite disappointing. Despite the fact they won 18-0, there was a lot to be desired. So I think they need to come out with some significant intent. However, Fiji came out with some significant intent last night and were awful for the first 15 minutes before they exploded for the final 65 minutes. So I would hope that Australia aren't awful in the first 15 here with an explosion, because then New Zealand are a very different team to the Cook Islands. And geez, it's like a mosquito flying around here. It's really annoying me. But yeah, Australia have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove right now. Marcel says, hello, Blaze. We'll be rewatching this stream later on. Always good to see the live reactions. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, look, hopefully it's a good game, and hopefully it does go down to the wire. You don't want to see blowouts in this kind of... one. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'll just go let him know. 1 second. Hey mate, thanks for messaging me, Blake, but I'm currently live streaming and I just want to let you know that you're a Muppet. Thank you. He messaged me saying, hearing rumours that Little Mullet Man, Little Barbie Ryan Pappenhausen is leaving the Storm. Thoughts about him joining the Titans. I'm an idiot. He's an idiot. He's a Muppet, that bloke. He's a Muppet. Love him, but he's a Muppet. I'm not even going to buy into it. I've already bought into it, really. I've already bought into it. Wish I didn't. Weird I didn't read his message. I don't think we need another fullback there, Jimmy. I don't think we do. But at least it's working well for me here. At least it's working. And that poll is very much switching between Australia and New Zealand, which is good to see. It is very back and forth. It's not just dominated by Australia as you would normally see. I don't forget, we will also be live for Samoa versus England later on tonight. Now, Samoa play England at 2:30 my time here in Fiji, which is 1:30 in Sydney, and then it is 12:30 a.m. in Queensland. So a very, very late one there. Skunkle says, can you double into Kiwi win? I don't think Kiwis win, but I would love to see Keano Kenny have a good game. I really do. I would love to see Keano absolutely crush it. Send a message just before. Proud of him for getting into the team, and it's definitely exciting stuff, man. But no, I don't think, I personally don't think. I think that New Zealand and Tonga will have a really good game next week, when New Zealand will more than likely win. But I'm not a big believer in Chance in that 6, and I'm not a big believer in Peter Hickman in the centres, which I feel like Australia will be able to capitalise on. And I feel like there's so much critique and concern about this Australian team based off of last year and even based off of the game won last week against Tonga, that I think they'll come out firing here. But I think New Zealand are also quite lucky that they're playing in New Zealand, because if this game was in Australia, to give them that advantage with the home crowd as well, I think that would be a major concern there for the Kiwis, because I don't think they'd be able to come over the top of it. But here in New Zealand, it does give them a little bit more of a comparable advantage there to kind of help out in that regard. And also, that's a good point that you make there, Bronze. Losing Maguire as a coach is a huge L for the Kiwis. I also agree in regards to that it is a massively changed dynamic in New Zealand with Michael Maguire going from the Kiwis to New South Wales, and then New South Wales to the Brisbane Broncos. So that is a big point that you've just made there that I wasn't even speaking about. There is a changed coach, and it's the last time that New Zealand have played, and it's not Michael Maguire, who is one of the better renowned coaches across the league. I don't think anyone fixes that Tiger situation where he was, and we'll obviously wait and see what he does with the Broncos, but he was able to get New Zealand over the line 30-0 last year. He was able to get New South Wales over the line this year with a 2-1 series win despite being down 1-0 in the first game. I believe that that Michael Maguire is a huge loss here for New Zealand, and it just comes down to, if New Zealand can go in front of their home crowd, I know what the home crowd is like. I know what the home crowd is like there in New Zealand. They fire up, man. It gets loud, but this isn't in Christchurch. I haven't been to Christchurch before. The Auckland crowd does get up and at him. Subbers is keen. Yeah, keen, man. I don't think a great deal of the rugby league audience is crazy red hot about this tournament. I don't think they are. I think people have been oversaturated with rugby league. We spoke about this a little bit last night, but I feel like people have been oversaturated with rugby league to the point where I feel like people will watch the score. Like, they'll see the score on their phone or whatnot, but I don't think a gigantic amount of people are really caring too much about the results here. A World Cup is going to be different in a good time zone. Like, obviously the England time zone was awful, so we were getting up at like 2:30 in the morning. We had games at 1:30, 4:30, 3:30, all that. I feel like the 2026 World Cup will go off. It'll be huge, but I don't feel like the general audience right now is caring too much about this tournament. And maybe because it is, a lot of people have that perspective that you know who's going to win before the game. But we also did kind of disprove this thought process last night. You didn't know who was going to win between Papua New Guinea and Fiji. Fiji were the heavy favourites there before that game. Then you knew last night's Fiji Cook Islands. You had a pretty damn well good idea that Australia was going to beat Tonga. You had a pretty good damn idea for that one. You don't know who's going to win this Australia-New Zealand game. You know who's going to win Papua New Guinea and Cook Islands. But you don't know who's going to win England and Samoa later on tonight and next week, even though I would expect England to win up there in England. If it was down here, I would actually probably tip Samoa. But yeah, I don't think it's as basic as people kind of thought to believe, are expecting to believe in regards to this tournament. But I understand the hesitancy to kind of go out of your way to watch this tournament. Again, internationals are not the primo for Australian rugby league fans, because of there being such a consistent success record. New Zealanders will tune in because they want to see their team beat the best. And the same thing goes for England. The same thing goes to Samoa, Tonga, Papua New Guinea, who are obsessed with rugby league regardless. You could have, a 13 flies versus 13 cockroaches run together, and the Papua New Guineans would absolutely love that. They would get around anything. You put pencils versus rubbers, and they'll watch that one as they battle it out. They love everything to rugby league, and then Fiji the same. Fiji maybe don't really care too much either, but yeah, it's not as open-ended a tournament. Well, it's an open-ended tournament in regards to this Pacific Cup, but I don't know. I just find that it's oversaturated. I find that it's oversaturated, and that's probably where you're getting your lack of real solid care factor from most people, and people just want to watch the Origin and Rugby NRL pretty much. David says, what do you think about a format Australia versus the best of the rest of the world? That's an interesting idea, but it will predominantly feature New Zealand. Like, who's getting in from Papua New Guinea? No one gets in from Papua New Guinea. Who's getting in from Fiji? Maybe Viliami Kikau, but probably not, because you've got Isaiah Papali'i and Isaiah Papali'i. Maybe Viliami Kikau gets into the back row, unless there's somebody else. Maybe Homoli Olakuatu probably gets in, or a Britain Nakora. Homoli Olakuatu's at least Tong in there. Yeah, but you got Isaiah Papali'i there, but there's Homoli Olakuatu, there's Keon Kalamatangi, there's a heap there. There's a couple of back rowers that you'd probably select over the New Zealanders. Front rowers, you'll get James Fisher-Harris and Adam Fanua-Blake. 9, you'd probably get... Who would you get? Surely you're not going with Phoenix Crossland. Surely that wouldn't be the best of the world. Who's the English hooker? I don't even know who the English hooker is. See, that's why this isn't the right question, to be honest. But it would be a positive idea. It would be a positive idea. I don't know how much the other countries outside of Australia would care about, though. That would be a big ego booster for Australians, really. But I don't think, people are going to tune in too heavily from other countries to be like, oh, hopefully the mixture of New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga will get this win over Australia. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good idea. Betty says, why are you going live when there is still like 2 hours until game starts, or is it different time zones? Mate, the game starts in about 10 minutes' time. The game starts in about 10 minutes' time. Any English players? I don't know enough about the English players, again, the ones that I do know would be Jack Wellesby, who wouldn't get in because you've got Dylan Brown and Jerome Hughes. We're going to get at 6 and 7. And the fullback is going to go to... I would say it would go to Keanu Kinney over the top of him, unless there's a fullback somewhere else. Lehigh Pawada for Tonga, he wouldn't get in my opinion, over Keanu. Samoa would be Suolauvi Falongo, still go Keanu. Papua New Guinea don't even really have a fullback, but I guess Nathan McDonald was good, but he's nowhere close to the guys that we're talking about here. Fiji have Sunda Toruva, Dream Bulla still. So, that's the Jack Wellesby's one that I'd look at. Maybe the hooker. I can't see a great deal of hookers around for everybody else. Papua New Guinea, Ebony Pape, no, he wouldn't be getting over Brandon Smith / Phoenix Crossland, but I don't know what's happening with Brandon Smith. The 9 for Fiji, Penioni Tangi Tuimua, Uvali Vatu, they're not getting in. Samoa, who is the Samoan hooker? Maybe Chanel Harris Tavita, doubt it. And then Tonga is Sileva Havili, but I would be going with Phoenix Crossland or Brandon Smith over him. But if Phoenix Crossland is the best option for outside of Australia, there's a problem. Watching A-League? No. Biddy says, I just saw the 5 p.m. start, so I thought that was when the game starts. Well, I'm in Fiji, so it is 4:58 p.m. right now in Fiji. But they are close to walking out onto the field here, ladies and gentlemen. They are close. Well, Dave, if you have an English player, if you disagree with me, if you have an English player, tell me where you would put them, what their position is, and I'll tell you who the New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, or Papua New Guinea team gets over the top of them. If you can tell me who's better and deserves a spot, and then I give you a response, then sure. Each says, can New Zealand upset? Can? Sure they can. Absolutely they can. Will? I don't think so, but can? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's never a guarantee when it comes to Australia versus New Zealand in Rugby League. Never a guarantee. Australia will win more often than not, but there's never a guarantee. I don't know many English players either. Yeah, there you go. Like, if you go and have a look at the English players now, so they are walking out into the field. So we've got internationals and we've got England versus Samoa tonight. Let's go and have a look at their team list. So Matty Ashton, fullback, no way. Oh no, that's not even... Oh yeah, I hate this. England and Samoa always do their team list just randomly. John Bateman, Tom Burgess, neither. Herbie Farnworth, maybe centres. Maybe you could consider Herbie Farnworth in the centres. I'd probably say Herbie Farnworth would go into the centres, actually. So there's one English player for you. And that's about it. I would say, okay, and maybe Dom Young on the wing, potentially. But you do have Will Warbrick, Jermaine Asako. Got some great wingers there in Tonga and Samoa, Fiji. You've got Micah Sivo, Miguel Ravalawa. You've got the potential of Tony Turova there. Like, I would say the guaranteed one would be Herbie Farnworth, but Dominic Young is a shout there on the wing as well. I don't watch enough Super League to know many players from over there. Absolutely. Yes, says Aussie should win this. Should, yes. Will, don't know. But should, absolutely. They never have excuses. Doesn't matter if they don't have Nathan Cleary, Munster, Cherry Evans, whatever. They always should know how to win. Even their depth should have the ability to win. That's how Australian Rugby League is. But if they don't, it's a massive embarrassment every single time. And that's why you saw such a critical response in regards to that 30-0 loss last year to Kiwis. It's just, you look like you know your rugby. Who would you take? Aussie minus 11.5 or plus 11.5 New Zealand? That's a great line. That is a really good line by the agencies there. Jeez. Because like there's a world where Australia do win this and win this well, but there's also a world where New Zealand really drive it down to the wire. Oh man, I'll go plus 11.5 based on the fact that New Zealand are at home. That's a tough line though, but again, I think that's such a hard line. There is so many different options here. I can't see New Zealand going and winning by a significant amount like they did last year. So if New Zealand are going to win, it's going to be 1-12. It's going to be a 1-6 game. If Australia win, they could win this game from anywhere from 1 point to 6 points to 10 points to 20 points. That's just how Australia works, man. When it clicks, it damn well clicks. When it doesn't click, we see what happened last year with 30-0. But for the most part, when it doesn't click, they still make it really, really close. So I would go with the New Zealand plus 11.5 at home. If this was in Australia, I would have gone Australia minus 11.5. But it's very concerning in that handicap because I could see multiple different options coming from this game. I could see multiple different options. The rosters are pretty separate from last year, yeah. For example, New Zealand don't have Dylan Brown. They don't have Jerome Hughes. They don't have... Katakini's obviously on debut here today, so Chance would have been their fullback, I believe. They've got a different coach. Brandon Smith would have been their hooker. New Zealand have a pretty different team to that team from last year. So the national anthem of Australia on right now. Whilst Australia have differences as well. Same coach, but pretty decent amount of differences. For example, they don't have Tino. They also don't have Payne Haas, who they had last year. They don't have Munster. I don't think Cleary played, did he? I think Cherry Evans played, didn't he? Can someone from the chat let me know, did Cherry Evans play that game or was it Cleary? I can't remember. Actually, I'll go have a look. I dead set can't remember who played in the halves that game for Australia. 2023, 30-0. All right, team list. So Tedesco was the fullback for Australia. Chance was the fullback in New Zealand. That's right, Dylan Edwards was on the wing. The centres for Australia was Hamisa and Katoni Staggs. Trebojevic is a massive step up there for Staggs, in my opinion. Val Holmes on the wing. They swap him with Zach Lomax. Munster and Cherry Evans. Yeah, it wasn't Cleary. It was Munster and Cherry Evans. A different halves pairing there. Payne Haas and Tino both out of this game. Ben Hunt was the 9. Yeah, Australia's changed a significant amount too. And then you go and look at New Zealand. Charles was their fullback. Molatalo was their winger. He's not here today. Jermaine Asako was. Manu obviously not playing. Matty Tomoko is in the centres. Both Brown and Hughes were both in that game. They're out today. Fisher Harris and Leota. Leota not playing today in the front row forwards. Yeah, just making sure. The 9 last year was... Oh, it's my boy Kieran Foran. It's Kieran Foran last year. This year it's Phoenix Crossland. Their back row this year is Isaiah Papali'i and Scotty Sorensen. Last year was Isaiah Papali'i and Britt Nakora. So a drop off there because Sorensen's fine, but Britt Nakora is one of the better back rowers in the comp. And the 13 of Joseph Tarpany, he was there last year. Their bench was Griffin Neem, Cody Nicarima, Marata Niokore, and... No, sorry, that's today. Their bench today is Griffin Neem, Cody Nicarima, Marata Niokore, and Jordan Ricky, whilst last year their bench was Manu Brown, Nelson Asafa-Solomona, Griffin Neem, and Leo Thompson. So the only bench play there that's playing today is Griffin Neem. Big loss there with Nels. Manu Brown's not a massive loss. Leo Thompson's also a big loss there. However, I do prefer their bench from last year significantly over the bench from this year. Still don't know how Griffin Neem continuously gets amongst this New Zealand team, but that's a question for another day. But overall, yeah, I would say that Nicarima, Niokore, and Ricky is a downgrade on Asafa Solomona, Leo Thompson, and Manu Brown, despite the fact that Manu Brown shouldn't even be necessarily in the equation, in my personal opinion. So yeah, very different squads. Again, New Zealand also have a very different coach. So let's see how it pans out. New Zealand usually are competitive in the first 20 or so minutes. New Zealand are usually competitive for the full game. Skunkle says, I don't know how Nick Rim is still in the team. We can't be that down bad. That down bad? Well, there is, no Dylan Brown and Jerome Hughes. So I guess they do want a halves cover there, especially with Sean Johnson, his age, and the longevity that he's been a part of this competition, the NRL Rugby League, considering that he has had a few injuries this year and in recent years. I'm not surprised they bring in a halves depth there in Nicarima, to be honest. Ready for the haka? Yep, the haka's coming up now. So the New Zealanders are walking out into the middle of the field here, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Let's get it rocking here, son.
Let's get it rocking, baby. Woo!
I will say, though, you look at I got out of it, but I would say the bench last year was better than the bench this year, too. Isaiah Tamati getting around the Kiwis. One of the worst streams of my life was last year's 30-0. Man, I tell you what, I got roasted in the chat. I got absolutely torn to shreds in this chat last year. So I really hope that Australia can win this game, because that was brutal viewing. Man. So who's leading the haka today? So there's Tarpany and Petahiku is leading it. Tarpany and James Fisher-Harris there. You always love the haka. Well, no matter if it's New Zealand, whether it's Fiji, maybe not Fiji, they don't really do haka too much. They go to the Nongamasu, Samoa, Tonga. It's always good to watch the cultural significance of the hakas. That was horrific, and I do want to remember that match again. Yeah, try being in my shoes and having to defend for my life from the live stream chat. It was not fun. Isn't it fun as Kiwis just kept running it in and running it in and running it in. And I kept hearing, Australia's washed, Australia frauds. Gee whiz, man. One game and apparently Australia washed and frauds, they reckon. If they go and beat us 30-0 today, I will tell you this right now. I'll put my hand up and say they are absolutely frauds and washed if they go and beat us 30-0 again today. But I can't see that happening. But if it does, I'm throwing myself through this bloody glass window here. Because there won't be a fun time, that's for sure. But all right, the haka has been done. And now we are about to absolutely fly. Good crowd there. Is it sold out? Geez, that tongue action there from Fisher-Harris. Usually the tongue just stays still, but he was getting into it. All right. Hopefully we're on for a big game here, a great game. We want a good rugby league matchup after what we saw last night. I don't know why they do these warm-ups after the national anthems and stuff. I don't know why. But every game. Why can't they do it beforehand and then do the national anthems and whatnot? I don't understand the timing there. But then again, that's just me as I sit here on the chair. Calm, Keanu. I want Keanu to have a big game today. He's had a fantastic season for the Gold Coast Titans. He worked hard to get into the team for the Titans, and especially when there was a fullback conundrum with AJ Robinson and Jaden Campbell, and then you get Keanu Kenny trying to work his way in. He does get in. Oh, Ashley Klein's the referee. Here we go. But then obviously had a fantastic year. Didn't look back. Probably the fullback next year for the Titans, and is the fullback for the New Zealanders right now. I did reckon it's because of what I said yesterday. What did you say yesterday, Skunkle? As if I'm going to remember what you said yesterday, Skunkle. Well, as if I remember what you said yesterday. What you mean what I said yesterday? Ish said some more bettors can get their bets in. NBA does the same thing. They milk the pregame a lot. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, they do milk the pregame a lot. You know what grinds my gears? So I was streaming today for the Bulls, but I stream the Chicago Bulls games and whatnot. I've been to Chicago, I've been to many different cities and gone to different games. It's crazy how much they milk the pregame because I don't know why they have the time set as 10 past every time. So like when the Bulls play, they say they're playing at 12:10 p.m. today. Oh, no, sorry. They play at 12. They put it at 12, but the game doesn't start normally till at least 10 minutes. But then usually at the 10-minute mark, that's when they go out to warm up after the national anthems and whatnot for the next 5 minutes. So it's actually 15 minutes after game start time that they actually start the game. It really annoys me every time. It annoys me every time, man. The unfair advantage on the haka given the Kiwi team in terms of warming up and that we are hyped up. But how does that relate to the other teams? So New Zealand will kick it off here, and it will be Australia who grab the ball, and they'll give it off to big Lindsay Collins, Bushka. Big contact early, and they'll be taking down at the 15 here, Australia. The Lakers are so winning the NBA, Dasmo says. Well, the Bulls are looking a little bit dodgy. Let's put it that way. So, maybe so, mate. Maybe so. But it's only 3 games in. Bulls are going to have a fire comeback. So, third tackle here is Zai Yo will be taking it down at the 25. $1 for Collins getting folded this game. Always happens, man. There's going to be some good hits. It always happens. 4th tackle. Thank you, Mr. J. Thank you, Mr. J. First time he's let me know on time. Gee whiz. Gee whiz. First time he's let me know on time here to refresh this score. But thank you very much, Mr. Perth. We get around it over there. We get around it in Perth. The parties are happening in Perth right now. All right, so Australia will kick that ball down to the corner. And now they'll bring back through Will Warbrick to the 15 here for New Zealand. Okay, beautiful. There we go. See, now you thank me, Jay, because I did it. You know, that's what happens. That's just what happens. So second tackle now for New Zealand at the 30. And Crossland's going to go right side to Jermaine Sarko, who will get crunched down at the 35, third tackle. I could see this game being quite a low-scoring game. If Australia win, they could win well. But if it's a... I could see the close game being like a 14-12er. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Oh, close one knock on there from Crossland to play the ball, but they didn't see it. Best streamer ever. Best streamer ever, mate. Gee whiz, the glaze is unreal from Jay. Stop thanking me. Gee whiz. So they'll put that ball up into the corner, and it will be Xavier Coates who grabs it. He could get away here. He could get away. Oh, he flicked the ball across to Hamiso. They actually would have gotten away. Tom Din with the ball gives it to Hamiso, and he'll bring this ball second tackle to the 30. Petahika came flying in but missed the tackle. You've got to make that tackle, man. You can't give the freebie meters. That's a high tackle. That's a high tackle. No, apparently not. That gets called a high tackle every week. Every single week when it comes to... Every single week when it comes to the NRL. Ish says 28-12 Aussie final. Didn't you bet on New Zealand plus 11.5? Whatever. So fifth tackle now for Australia. They'll be 45 metres out. Harry Grant off to Mitchell Moses. And Moses will put that up. And Warbrick should get a good chase here, though. How is that not an escort, referee? How is that not... I was going to say, thank you, Klein. That was an awful escort there. Matty Tomoko, there's no way you're even arguing. And 10 metres for descent. How is Matthew Tomoko even arguing that that was not an escort when he clearly... deliberately runs off his line to block the players running? There's not even a debate whether this was potentially an escort or not. It was the most obvious escort you've ever seen. But they will also get penalised 10 metres for descent, which is crazy in the first 3 minutes of the game. Why isn't Origin champion Matt Burton starting? Probably... No, I'm not going to make the joke I was going to do. 5 metres out. Love your dogs. First tackle here. And it'll be Harry Grant. They go left-hand side here to Paddy Carrigan. And Carrigan here, he'll be 4 metres out from the line. Second tackle. Second tackle, Harry Grant. Let's see if this attack is flowing this week. They give it off here to Angus Crichton. It gets away from 1 tackle and taken down 8 metres out. Good defence here from the Kiwis so far. Will the Kiwis continue on? Will they continue on from last year? Can they defend the onslaught? Yo, brother, what are you doing? 4 tackle, 8 metres out from the line. That's worse than the escort I saw in Para. Thanks, Daz. Thank you, Daz. Harry Grant gives it to... Crichton! Bushka! Nearly knocked it on, but Angus Crichton will score, make it 4-0 here with the kick to come. 4-0 here with a kick to come. Angus Crichton will go through the line and will score for Australia. And look at Matthew Tomoko literally looking at him and designing his run to block off Zach Lomax. And he has the audacity to try and say there was no penalty there. He literally looks at Lomax running, runs into his path, backs up into him, and then has the audacity to complain that's not... And so much so that it was dissent for an extra 10 metres. How are you complaining that significantly when you are very well aware you know what you did and then give away 10 extra metres based on dissent? Are all the refs Aussies or are there some Kiwi refs and Islander refs? That's a good question. I know Ashley Klein is refereeing today, was Australian. Chris Sutton's a touch judge. Phil Henderson's a touch judge. And Sutton is the bunker. But I don't think anyone's there. No, I'm pretty certain they're all just Aussie, but I'm not sure. Oh, no. I think Crichton's lost the ball. I think Crichton has lost the ball here. I think Angus Crichton has just dropped the ball because he's gotten complacent, which is... Yeah, they're walking back. This is a no try. How has he bonkered this one up? How has Angus Crichton bonkered this one up? Klein is wearing Kiwi colours, Slapper says. That's crazy he's dropped that. That is ridiculous that he's dropped that. And that's the whole thing in regards to complacency, right? Australia just expects to be the best and then do something ridiculous like that. Like dropping that ball in that situation is poor. You've already gone across the line. Put the ball down, man. So New Zealand will get the ball. It's a no try and stays 0-0 4 minutes into the game. Can you imagine if you put a bet on Angus Crichton score first try? Can you imagine? You'd be fuming right now. You'd be foaming out of the mouth at Angus Crichton if you put a bet on him to score the first try of this game. So first tackle now for New Zealand. Now second tackle at the 40. Jace, it's glad to see Blocker is banned from commentating the Pacific Championships. That's a bonus. Oh, please don't remind me of the existence of that man. Third tackle here at the 48. He's done an Aquila Uate. Aquila the Gila. Man, if he... Oh, go Keanu! Go Keanu! Taken down at the 30. Good man. I'm supporting a Kiwi as an Australian. So go right-hand side. Sean Johnson gives it off to Papali'i. And Papali'i's going to fit tackle now 20 metres out here from the line. If New Zealand go and score straight away, Crichton needs to hang his head in shame, man. So Johnson puts it up. Basic kick, but Kiwis get up for it. And it's Australia ball. Dylan Edwards grabs it and he'll get this ball to the 11 or so. Angus Crichton... I can't believe you've done this to us. I can't believe it. You give it up to Xavier Coates, and Xavier Coates now he'll get this ball to the 20. First tackle. Harry Grant off to Zach Lomax. Please run the ball hard and stop stepping around. Let's go Kiwis, as Tamata says. Well, it's been an interesting start for the Kiwis. Like, at the end of the day, they still conceded, but they didn't because of Australian... Complacency is the word. Yo, at the back to Dearden to Crichton. And Crichton will get this ball to the 45-4 tackle. Like, New Zealand's defence did get opened up. And you've got to look at it in that perspective. But obviously, Australia don't get the points because they dropped it over the line. Hamiso now nearly gets away, but it'll be fit tackle at the 38. He said up be crying because that means he probably lost him scoring first 2 times in a row with Slim. It's very doubtful. Very, very doubtful. Lomax! Oh, but it's no one followed him up. That's what Lomax is good for, but no one followed him up. It's a great grab out of the air. Lomax gets over the top, but flicks it back and it goes straight to Osako, unfortunately. Second tackle now at the 25. 7 minutes gone here. And Keanu gets it off to Will Warbrick, who'll be taken down 30 metres out. Third tackle. That was really... Keanu should have been doing better there in regards to that, but that's a great run there by Keanu. 4 tackle to the 40. Fantastic run there by the big Bobber. And now Joe Tarpany will get this ball to the halfway point. 5th tackle. Overall, Australia is doing fine in regards to limiting a lot of the meters, except for this one, Sean Johnson here. It gets a good little run around and then puts it up, and it's a good take by Xavier Coates, and he's crunching the tackle there by not Peta Hiku. Isaiah Papali'i. Now, second tackle will be taken down to the 25. Yeah, that speed battle out on the left-hand side is going to be really interesting to see if the Kiwis can cope with it. They've got Xavier Coates and Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow on the same side. Who are the right-hand wingers? You're going to have Jermaine Asako, and the centre is Peta Hiku. That is not a battle for speed. Why is Paddy Carrigan? How did he catch that one? Fit tackle at the halfway point. That's not a battle that the Kiwis are going to be expected to win today. That is a pacey sideline for Australia. So Moses puts that ball up. Should be an easy grab here for Keanu, and Keanu gets this ball at the 15. And it'll be annihilated there by Angus Crichton. And it's going to be first tackle here for New Zealand. It is so good to see him playing international footy, though. Now, second tackle here, Jermaine Asako at the 24. Much better than the handling. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did complete only 50% in the first 20 minutes, Australia. Last week against Tonga, we were awful in that first 20. We just couldn't. Every time we got the ball, Australia would drop it. They would fluff it up, and it was really frustrating. 6 again here for the Kiwis. Wow. Okay, so guess the fourth tackle, and they're ill-disciplined here, the Australians. So New Zealand now, again, first tackle, 45 out. They give it up to Sean Johnson and Peta Hiku. I'm kicking Peta Hiku and Isaiah Papali'i confused. They look similar from a side on from afar. James Fisher-Harris, short ball now. And Scotty Sorensen, third tackle here at the 30. Australians giving away that 6 again was brutal. Now Joe Tarpany, he'll be 20 metres out. And it's going to be 4 tackle now. Phoenix Crossland, can their attack get it moving here? Fisher-Harris, he pushes off one, flicks it out the back to Crossland. Crossland with a quick pass. Chance Nickel Klukstad, I just can't see him as a 6, man. I really can't. I cannot see Nickel Klukstad as a 6. Sean Johnson, he'll kick that ball across here. Good battle. Xavier Coates up, and Xavier Coates catches. Coates versus Sarko. Coates comes up there. That's nice. That's a good battle there in regards to the in-air. I would expect Xavier Coates to win the in-air battle more often than not. However, Sarko isn't bad in the air either. Third tackle now for a straight to 15. Guys, 10 minutes gone here. Do me a favour, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Zach Lomax will get the ball out to the 25, and he gets a good offload there on third tackle. Harry Grant to Edwards. Edwards here to Moses. Moses off to Trebojevic. Trebojevic taken down at the 38 or so. Need some big old runs out of Trebojevic here today. And now Paddy Carrigan, he'll get this ball to the 50. I will say the better start in this opening 10 minutes has come from, oh no, Mitchell Moses has kicked the ball out in the full. Oh, Mitchell Moses has kicked the ball out on the full. What are you doing, Mitchell Moses? What are you doing, Mitchell Moses, man? He's kicked the ball out on the full. So it's going to be New Zealand ball now at the halfway point. This is a barnstorming run by Will Warbrick. Please give us peak Para Moses today. No, we do not want peak Para Moses today. All right, who's playing number 15 there? Oh, Nafahu White there for the Kiwis. They're 33 metres out. Crossland, he'll give... Oh, that's closer forward. Fisher-Harris now at the 33. Gets the offload away to Tarpany. Tarpany now to Keanu Kenny. Kenny off to Peta Hiku. It is Peta Hiku this time. And he'll be 28 metres out, third tackle. Isaiah Papali'i playing as a dummy half. I love how people are booing as if Hamiso could do anything there. Fourth tackle now, 22 metres out. You need to be doing a bit... This set hasn't been great. They got the ball like 15 metres away. And, oh, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Johnson wasn't expecting that. They've just lost another 15 metres, so they're back kind of at square one here. But good running by Mati Tomoko. And Mati Tomoko is going to be 25 metres out. Davis need big runs from Nas as he's playing. It's going to be hard to get big runs from Nelson and Solomona when he's obviously suspended. He's suspended. And Dylan Edwards will grab that one, and he'll be taken down 2 metres out from the line. Database says, I've seen enough. Get Burton on. I've seen enough. Tina may be injured. Oh, that's a big hit. Jeez, Coates has been levelled there. I've seen enough. Bring Tino in. I know he's been injured all year. This is good defense from New Zealand. Third tackle, 5 metres out from their own line here, Australia. They're really struggling to get metre right now. They're really struggling to get metres right now. Dylan Edwards, how would you feel now knowing that that try should have been 6-0 and unfortunately you dropped? The good run by Isaiah. See, that's the thing. Those little things that players do and they lose that concentration like Crichton clearly did really impact the game. This game be played such in a different light. It was 6-0 after 4 minutes. So Keanu Kenny brings it back now to the 40. I wouldn't actually say Burton's a bad suggestion to bring on now in regards to the kicking game. Tom Dearden's kicking game isn't spectacular. And Mitchell he's lost the ball. Oh, he's called a penalty. He's called a penalty. I don't think this is worth challenging. Oh, Yo is saying a challenge. Okay. Isaiah Yo is the captain and he's challenging this. Adam Smart says, how embarrassing is it going to be? The 5-1 Lions losing to the 1-5 Titans tomorrow. Morning Blaze, let's go to Kiwis. I don't... Am I meant to be like nervous or something at the Tennessee Titans, that one of the worst teams in NFL? I think he might just lose this, actually. No, he's just lost that ball. No, he's just lost this ball here. The hands are not amongst the ball. He's just lost the ball. He's just lost the ball. No way is that a penalty. Will Warbrick has dropped that ball cold and they're saying that's because of the leg. What? That's an outrageous call. That's crazy. Commentary's going off about it too. It's definitely a controversial call, that one. So Australia have now lost their challenge because of that. That is the incorrect call. But then again, are we surprised in regards to the NRL? Trajan says, go Kiwis. All right, first tackle now. CT Dingus says, that's horrific. That is horrific of a call. That is absolutely horrific. First tackle now. Phoenix Crossland gives it off to Joe Tarpany. And Tarpany is going to be 22 metres out. Went through Nafahu White to get there. Now Phoenix Crossland off to Nafahu White. He'll get out the back now to Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson off to Scotty Sorensen. It's going to be brutal if the Kiwis score off that because that is the incorrect call that just happened. Third tackle, they'll give it off to Nafahu White. And it's going to be fourth tackle now, 5 metres out here from the line. Crossland, he'll go right to Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson underneath now. And it's going to be Isaiah Papali'i, who's 5 metres out, fifth tackle. Sean Johnson with the experience. Can he get them over the line here? Sean Johnson will kick it across. And that is actually not a bad kick overall. It's going to be a dropout, but it looked like it was going to be awful until it wasn't. Tasman says, I blame Angus Crichton. Well, fair enough, really. But yeah, Lomax just had to... Yeah, it was actually a really good kick. I actually don't mind that. If Lomax had caught that easy, then sure, it was time to hound in on Sean Johnson for kicking that. But it was actually perfectly positioned there. And that will go out over the sideline. So it's New Zealand ball here at the 11 or 10 or 11 or so. I feel like people in the crowd don't know that's not a penalty anymore. And it's not New Zealand. This happened in the NRL all year long. Everyone would always cheer loudly and crazy because like the team would kick it out in the full or, it wouldn't go 10 or whatnot. And people would be cheering crazy as if they were about to get a penalty from front of the sticks, which was the case until they changed the rules. And I feel like people still don't know the rules in that regard because people are still cheering as if like they're about to get a penalty because of it when that's not the rules anymore. All right, so New Zealand now, they're going to be taking down 8 metres out from the line. Isaiah Papali'i's second tackle. You've got Phoenix Crossland now. He's going to go left off to Joe Tarpany. And Tarpany's going to push himself close. Offloads it straight to Cameron Murray. Offloads it straight to Australia. And the get out of jail free card has been used. And Australia won't be punished despite the fact they shouldn't have even been in that position there, the Kiwis. Second tackle. And penalty Australia. Nafahu White will give the penalty away. Zach Lomax trying to get the quick play the ball and Nafahu White impacts it. By the way, Jay, when you spoke about blocker, well, he's here. Oh, he's here. Oh, he's here, mate. You can't be on Fox without listening to this muppet. So Lomax will put this ball in. Now it's first tackle here. And Tom Trebojevic is going to bring this ball through a strong post-contact 5 metres run to the 45. 2 penalties to Australia, 1 to the Kiwis. despite the fact that it shouldn't have been. First tackle here, Dylan Edwards to Paddy Carrigan. Carrigan, hard worker. Second tackle, good 10 metres post-contact run. I jinxed it. That is your fault, Joe. That is your fault. Off to Mitchell Moses. Lindsay Collins now. Lindsay Collins now. Go, Lindsay! Go, Lindsay! Go, Lindsay! Come on, you good thing. Daz, I'm going to have to time you out. You're way too early there, brother. You're way too early. We'll see you in 5 days. But that's a try time there for the Australians. Get around it. Lindsay Collins right up the guts, son. Right up the guts. Right up the guts. And it'll be 4-0 here with a kick to come. Good run there from Mitchell Moses. Flicks it underneath there. And unfortunately, the missed tackle there from Vance Crossland. And Keanu Kenny and Lindsay Collins run straight on through for a try into the post. And that's why there was no fullback behind. Way too early there, Mr. Daz, mate. Slaver says the best fullback in the world gets a meat pie. Lindsay Collins is in fact the best fullback in the world. You are correct there. Lindsay Collins is in fact the best fullback in the world. Just ask James Tedesco. Just ask James Tedesco. But 4-0 here with a kick to come. Clyde is wearing Kiwi colours. Slapper says, cheering me. So 1 line break, 1 try, 69 run meters today, Lindsay Collins. Need to make it up because obviously last year he got manhandled really in the forwards against New Zealand in that clash. No Australian played well in that game, but you know he was a part of the team from last year. Actually, was he a part of the team? Because obviously Tino and Payne were the starting front rowers. Have a look. They will get... Zach Lomax is right in front. He'll get this kick. Team list. He was... Yeah, he was on the bench. Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. All the way from sunny Zakynthos, Greece. Coming to Australia, I reckon he's saying. 7:31 in Greece. Get around your Oya. And your ex-Dragons play just converted the kick to make it 6-0 to Australia. And of course, we're going to get some random Rabbitohs fan in the crowd. Come on, Aussies. You tell him, Oya. You get into him, mate. Get into him. Ish says, Bane, good start. Yeah, it is a good start. It is a good start. Especially considering that if you look at it from a different perspective, Australia have actually scored 2 tries in this game. Obviously, only one of them is counted because this one wasn't dropped by Lindsay Collins over the line. But if you look at it in that perspective, if Crichton had have just focused in on holding the ball with 2 hands, it would have been 12-0. Paddy Carrigan now gets his ball hit to the 15. You can tell there's a very significantly different intensity behind this New Zealand team right now to what that New Zealand team was last year. Should be 10 or 12-0. Shaking my head, but Aussie will do their job regardless. I'd probably say it was 12-0. Lomax is a good kicker when he doesn't have me right behind him. He would have gotten that kick from where Crichton scored. Third tackle now, Harry Grant with the Paddy Carrigan. And Carrigan to the 35. 4 tackle. 4 tackle now. Australia have owned a lot of the middle of the park, though. Edwards should have passed that ball. Sure, I don't know why Edwards has not passed that ball. I won't lie, going into next year, I can see a world where we go away from Edwards as the fullback, man. I just don't see... I don't see him... I know James Tedesco's getting older and you wouldn't select him next year, but I don't think Dylan Edwards is an international style player. I think that he's a world beater when it comes to the NRL and Origin and whatnot. And you could argue in regards to Origin too, but I think he is a world beater style player in the right system. But I just don't necessarily believe he's the kind of guy that Australia should go with going forward. Whether that means, and as much as I don't like to say it, whether that means Reece Walsh or whatnot, I don't know, but it's a high tackle. Yep, Lindsay Collins, high tackle on Keanu Kenny. New Zealand penalty at 35. I don't know who gets it, and I'm sure that Edwards probably stays there, but Kalen Ponga I would probably be leaning towards. I would lean towards it. Australia isn't his style. I would argue New South Wales too, but it's not that Australia isn't his style. I'd say his style isn't Australia's. I feel like Australia just wants to be a little bit more flamboyant, a little bit more extravagant in the way they play. No, we won't be going back to Teddy. Teddy's getting older now, and if he didn't get selected this year, he won't be getting selected next year. Despite the fact that I think Tedesco was the best fullback this year, There's no point going back. You've got to think about the future. First tackle in for New Zealand. They're 25 metres out from the line. And Fisher Harris rolls it to Crossland. Nafahu White's 10 metres out, second tackle. 20 minutes to go here of the first half, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe. Kiana Kinney, go Kiana. Taking down 3 minutes out from the line, third tackle. Petahiku. They're very close to the line. Sean Johnson off to Joe Tarpany. Joe Tarpany gives it off to Nickel Klukstad. And good tackle there from Mitchell Moses on Scotty Sorensen. Fourth tackle, Crossland, short ball to Tarpany. And a good tackle there by Lindsay Collins around the legs. And Paddy Carrigan up top. Fifth tackle, 3 metres out. Crossland off to Johnson. Johnson with a big passer. Basically over the sideline. What's going to happen here? Isako under pressure. Good work by Australia to put the pressure on Isako. Bad pass there from Johnson. And Australia will get the ball here at the 30. They lost about 25 metres from that. Connor Woods, 12:31 p.m. in Khon Kaen, Thailand. The Aussies are starting well. 5 more answered tries will be nice. I'll be in your neck of the woods. You like the pun? I'll be in your neck of the woods next year. I will be there next year for a little bit. But 5 more answered tries. You'd like to see that, Colin. You would like to see that. But Australia here with the ball at 30. If you're just tuning in, Colin, we actually did score one. But unfortunately, Angus Crichton dropped the ball with no men on him. Not a single man on top of him. Not a single man within vicinity of him. He just randomly dropped the ball over the line. Isaiah Yo at the back now to Dearden. Oh, they've got numbers. Samiso gives off to Xavier Coates. Here's a speed battle. Tripped up at the 40. Good trip up there. Otherwise, that was a game over, man. Game over. Australia, you can see they want it. You can see they want this game, but you can. And it's a penalty here to Australia. Late hit from New Zealand will give a penalty to Australia. Cotter comes onto the field as well. What about Turbo? Do you move him back to the fullback? No, I don't think so, Andrew. I think that fullback is more susceptible to injuries, which is why I'll say it. That's why I feel like AJ Brimo doesn't necessarily play fullback for the Titans next year, based on the fact that fullback is more susceptible to injuries. He has a few injuries and whatnot. And I think the same goes with Turbo, even though Turbo still plays the fullback at Manly. They don't have as much diversity as the Titans do. So, no, I wouldn't put him there when you've got other guys like Reece Walsh. You've got other guys like, who's another one? Lindsay Collins, Second tackle, Callum Ponga. Callum Ponga's the guy that I would have walk in, but I know Mal will still select Edwards. At the back here to Moses. Moses hit the 15. I think that's a knock on. And they will call it knock on. I don't know what that was from Australia. I think that was backwards actually in the end, but they don't have a challenge. They do not have a challenge. Oh no, it goes Murray into Moses, that's why. I don't know what Mitchell Moses is doing there. Lindsay Collins is the Queensland best fullback. Lindsay Collins is the greatest fullback of all time, mate. Lindsay Collins potentially the greatest fullback of all time. Not a debate. Not a debate. Terence Paramoses. Yeah, well, Paramoses is currently up 6-0. So, New Zealand now will get this ball here to the 22. 10 from 11 completions for New Zealand. 8 from 12 for Australia. As things are situated, Australia would be going through the final. And if the game ended like this, it would be New Zealand playing Tonga, and whoever wins next week would play the final against Australia at Combank. Third tackle now. I feel like the way that I've seen this game, I feel like next week regardless if Kiwis found a way to win this game, I could see New Zealand-Tonga being a great game next week. I think the way Tonga played the Aussies man up in regards to those forwards last week, I feel like they can give New Zealand a genuine test for their money. If New Zealand go with the same lineup next week, I could see Tonga giving them a good run for their money. It's just that I don't know if Tonga will be able to score still because they're Lolohea and Isai Katoa. But I think it'll be really close. Obviously, granted, this game has not finished yet, but I'm just saying, regardless, even if New Zealand won this game, I still feel like they'd match up very strongly with each other, and I wouldn't put it past Tonga winning that game. Edwards gives it right-hand side now. Here they go. They give it off to Tommy Trbojevic. Trbojevic gets taken down by Tomoko in the end, but it was a great run there from Tommy T. They're at the halfway point. Moses off to Edwards. They are starting to roll up the middle here, Australia. What is that from Edwards, man? Get the ball away. Get the ball away, man. Like, what was that, brother? Fit tackle here and there at the 40. Like, he's strong for sure, but, like, it's just... There's not enough attacking X factor for mine. Lomax nearly caught that. And New Zealand will be taken down to the 5. Every time Moses touches the ball, I get scared, not gonna lie. Well, I was surprised Cherry Evans wasn't selected. I was, but Moses did have a great New South Wales Origin series. But international games are played a very different style to Origin. Obviously, Origin for mine and for everybody is the peak. We would love international to be the peak, but it's simply not. So Origin is still the peak. And you find, a penalty here in New Zealand. Disagree, but sure. You find that some players can play extraordinary at NRL level and then struggle at Origin and struggle at international. Or they could play great, not extraordinary, but great at NRL level, then play extraordinary at Origin level and play extraordinary at international level. They're all very different styles. Slapper says, I get scared he's going to do some dumb stuff. Well, that's the Parramatta in him. That is the Parramatta squeals in him, son. So first tackle now for the Kiwis, and they're 45 metres out here from the Australian line. Johnson off to Griffin Neame. And Griffin Neame will be second tackle here, 40 metres out. Right now, I can't tell you a single thing China's has done in that 5'8", and that's an issue. That's an issue for a big country like New Zealand. At their 5'8", I have not seen here today. Third tackle, they go right-hand side off to Sean Johnson. Johnson at the back now, and Keanu Kenny will be grabbed by Hamiso Tabuaifado. Fourth tackle, 25 out. Ponku getting around the Kiwis, or the Cobos. They're getting around the Cobos, apparently. So fifth tackle now. They're 15 metres out. How have we gone from Kiwis to Cobos? What's this? Short ball, fifth tackle, Kenny passes it out. New Zealand! Try time, Jermaine Sarko on the right-hand side. It was actually 6 again as well. But the Kiwis will score on the wing, and it is 4-6 here. Kiwis score with a kick to come from the sideline. We're just going to ignore that Yo just tripped over in the background. Did he really? I didn't even see it. So we've gone from Ponku saying, come on the Kowos to the Kiwis, and now no Kiwis. Where's the Kiwis? Why the Kowos and the Kiwis? What about the Kiwis? That was a great offload there from Isaiah Papali'i. That was a really good offload there from Isaiah Papali'i. And Keanu Kenny with a great touch on a Peta Hiku, and the Peta Hiku with an easy pass across there to Jermaine Sarko. BGZ says, let's go. What are they arguing about here? What's this Yo arguing about with Ashley Klein? I don't even know what happened. It's a great pass there from Keanu Kenny. That's a very good pass, and his try confirmed. I don't know what Yo was arguing about with Ashley Klein just then. Difficult conversion. So Sean Johnson, gets it to Isaiah Papali'i. He gets contacted by Dearden and Hamiso, but flicks it back to Keanu. And Keanu has literally like a 0.5 of a second to get that ball off and gets it out to Hiku, and then Hiku with an easy pass. As soon as Keanu got that ball away, you knew that was going to be a try. But he's excited, man. Exciting times. It's not the fact of the just capitals. It's the fact that it's frequent and like kind of spammy capitals is what Jay's saying. I think he was arguing obstruction. What obstruction? There was not even anything that was even remotely close to obstruction there. So Jermaine Sarko, tough kick from the sideline. He will. Yes, he will. Right on through. 6-6. 6-6 is the scoreline with 12 minutes to go here of the first half. It is 6 points to 6. Good try there on the sideline. He converts his own try. And somebody has got their sign up the wrong way in the crowd. Well, we've got a good game here. 6-6 with 12 minutes to go the first half. It is a tie ball game. Jeez, I'd be thinking if you'd be Angus Crichton right now. I won't forget it all game. So Australia kick it off, and it'll be New Zealand who grab this ball 3 minutes out. And that also comes off the back of that poor pass there from Mitchell Moses. Australia on the attack, 15 minutes out, and he throws it directly into his own player, who then knocks it on. That's Moses' fault. They run up the other end of the field and end up scoring a try based off of, a mistake there. So there you go. Let's get them. Stuff Jerome Hughes stinking turncoat. What? What do you mean Jerome Hughes turncoat? Jerome Hughes turncoat? Jerome Hughes is injured, is he not? Kenny taking out at the 40. So fifth tackle now at the 40. Phoenix Crossland. He goes to the right-hand side, and Sean Johnson will put that ball up. Jerome Hughes is injured. Why do you have a crack at Jerome Hughes being a turncoat? So first tackle now for Australia. Hughes is injured, you muppet, Daz says. Yeah, what's the stupid comment here? Turns back, said no to the Kiwis. Hey, Ponku, buddy, Jerome Hughes is injured. Jerome Hughes is injured. So third tackle now for Australia. They get this ball here to the 15. 10 minutes to go here of the first half, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Fourth tackle now for Australia. Harry Grant, he runs it off to Edwards, and Edwards gets away from one tackle, and now to the 40. Shout out to the education system, Jay says. It's crazy. You can see how quickly people turn against their own players. What a disgraceful comment. Jerome Hughes hasn't turned his back on the Kiwis at all. At all. Keanu Kenny, great run back to the 23 there. Think he's drunk? Yeah, probably. Same with Dillbags before you call him out for being a turncoat too. Yeah. Second tackle now for New Zealand. I think they just look at the team lineup and they go, oh, Jerome Hughes isn't there, so he must have said no to the Kiwis, which just isn't the case. Third tackle. What do you think? Kieran Foran's a turncoat too because he's getting surgery right now? What are we doing here? Fourth tackle at the 45 on the Australian side of the field, but the Kiwis with the ball, and it's Nafahu White. You can see the momentum is changing around a little bit here. Australia had strong momentum for the last 15 minutes, but when they made that knock on, the Kiwis went up the other end of the field, scored that try. You can sense the turn. You can sense and feel the turn of energy right now. Edwards grabs the ball and taking down to the 5. And the Kiwis have been doing really good at holding them down here. Tino, similarly, biggest turncoat, Logan. Can't believe he's not playing for Australia despite doing his ACL this year, you know? Despite doing his ACL this year. Gee whiz. Deary me, Nathan Cleary, absolutely. Callum Ponga, the biggest turncoat. Oh, wait. Hey, well, he did put his name up. He did put his name for selection. It wasn't him who didn't get it. It was, I believe that Mal was just doing that just for the sake of it. So Harry Grant gives it off to Isaiah Yo, short ball here, and Barnett taking out the 40. Was looking for another offload, but couldn't get it. Harry Grant here on fit tackle, and he will kick that one down. It's not a bad kick. If that sits up and goes, that's actually a really nice kick there from Harry Grant, and County Kenny will be taken down to the 15. I think we meant it was. Come on, it was. And now it will be Jermaine Asako taking it down to the 25, second tackle. 8:42 to go here the first half. And that's going to be a knock-on. Yeah, I saw it too. That's going to be a knock-on there from the Kiwis at the play the ball. It's going to be talking about Ponga turncoating for the Kiwis. For the Kiwis. Oh, there's no way to challenge. Oh, maybe actually. This might not be a knock-on. I don't know if this actually is a knock-on. So left hand on the footy. Yeah, that's not a knock-on. Correct call. Ponga says, come on, already let them get 6 more in the last test. Keep on them on 6 only. Ponku, Australia have won 9 of the last 10 World Cups, man. One game does not define the New Zealand versus Australia, man. It's always going to be a good game. One standalone game, people forget the week beforehand, Australia whooped the Kiwis. So it's this is a great game. This is what we hope. This is what we expect. New Zealand are not some massive global superpower that compares significantly better than Australia based off of one game, bro. Let's just remind ourselves of that. Australia are still the ones to look up to. However, New Zealand are competing very, very well and can absolutely win this game. But it's weird how the Kiwis get this real weird sense of we won one game by 30 points to nil, so that means that everything is just shit on for Australia. It doesn't make sense, your ideology. It really doesn't make sense. But Xavier Coates will get this ball hit to the 20. Can we use the cricket thinking if you remove the ground, does he still hold that ball? Well, I was actually going to bring that up. Which would have been a knock-on, obviously. If you're using the ground as your placement, that's a knock-on. So Xavier Coates, but obviously that's not the case. Yeah, look at Penrith. Do you even know how to spell Kiwis, Ponku? Yeah, look at Penrith, Kiwis front row. Something about having the best forwards. No, mate. Fisher Harris and Moses Leota are not better than Payne Haas, Tina Fa'asumalawi, and Adam Fanua-Blake. One due is going to the Warriors next year, but as a collective, they're a part of the system there. Anyway, I'm not going to reply to you. So, Lomax is going to drop that ball. It'll be Kiwis' ball here at the 25. We like to play YouTube hide and seek. You go on another live stream, I'll count to 1 million, I'll come try to find you. It's great fun, that one. It's a great fun game. All right, so New Zealand ball here with 6 minutes 45 to go here in the first half. It's going to be Mati Tomoko who brings that to the 30 here. It's good to see that New Zealand didn't have their heads go down once Australia scored not 1 but 2 tries in this game. They didn't let their heads go down at any stage and are still well and truly in this battle on a significant level. And that's what you'd like to see here. That's what you'd like to see. And now New Zealand, third tackle here at the 47, 48 or so. I think I lost my 2 brain cells I had. That's usually what happens here, That is usually what happens. So 4th tackle of Phoenix Crossland. He'll give it out to Moses. Moses short ball to his Ipapa Lee. It'll be 5th tackle now. Yeah, Stacey Jones has got them up for it. And Sean Johnson into the corner. Dylan Edwards will... Oh, well, he's been taken out there. Yeah, penalty. That's ridiculous from Petahiku. He's just taken out Dylan Edwards, which gives a penalty there to Australia. And gets them out of trouble. Didn't even look at the footy. Went straight for Dylan Edwards. And that was a ridiculous decision there from Petahiku. I definitely am going to go get myself a Coke Zero at halftime. That's for sure. Nice little Coke Zero. Fire it up for a beautiful second half. But this would be brutal. If either Australia or New Zealand score before halftime, that's a massive game changer. Considering that this deserves to be a halftime tied game. It deserves to be tied game at halftime. Second tackle now for Australia at the 43. Tackling opposition half. 41 for New Zealand, 11 for Australia. Wow, Edwards off to Tommy Trbojevic. Tommy Trbojevic now. Tommy Trbojevic. Go, Tommy! Go, Tommy! Go, Tommy! Tommy Trbojevic out to the outside. Zach Lomax. Come on, Zach! Try time for Australia in the corner. Get that up, you Ponku. Australia. Try time in the corner. And it will be 10-6 here with the kick to come. 10-6 here. It is close to the sideline, though. It is close to the sideline. That's a great run there from Tom Trbojevic. Tom Trbojevic here. At the 40, at the 30, at the 20. Maxi bad. Went for the contact. I think he gets it. We need to see the side-on angle, but I think he gets this. That's a great run there from Tom Trbojevic. All right, here we go. This will show it. Look for the contact there with Keanu Kenny. Runs straight into him. And does he do enough? Try time. Let's go. Try time. So Australia 10-6 with a kick to come. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. 10-6 to go here with 4 minutes to go in the first half. I don't know what Fisher Harris is complaining about. I've got the Eagle Rock playing in the background. All the Australian men in the arena, you must take your pants off. That's just how it works with the Eagle Rock. That's how it works, son. That's how it works. I was here to stay. Is Manu injured? Manu's at rugby union, mate. Manu doesn't play rugby league anymore. Doing Eagle Rock. Hey. Manu doesn't play anymore. Manu not play no more. Manu not play no more. All right, so 3 minutes 28 to go here. Can Lomax get this conversion from the sideline? It's not an easy kick by any stretch of the imagination, but here we go. Zach boy Lomax. And he misses that one. Hey, that's the right side. That's where he would normally be kicking it from in front of me, so it makes sense. All right. All right. Good game, though. Good game. Yeah, he is. I agree with what McKenna's saying. He's absolutely adamant that he's playing right centre at Parramatta, but realistically, his best position is wing. realistically, his best position is wing. He's still technically signed till October 31st. So, Logan, do you know when the final of this tournament is? Do you know when the final of this tournament is? So, if he's not contracted post-October 31st, that means he's only contracted for 4 more days. So, why would you select a player that can't play next week and the week after? There's a little riddle for you. I'm the Riddler. I should play the Riddler in Batman. Huh? No, do. Inglesa. Here's Pickett. Second tackle now, left-hand side against Crichton. Get this ball now to the 35. Suck on that one, Lomax, the Gross says. Take that. He'll take the try, though. Well, I like the try there from Zach Lomax. Isaiah Yo, we're taking up the 42. Now, Kiwis, you cannot concede again. Oh, 6 again for Australia on 4 tackle. Yikes. New Zealand, you cannot concede again before half-time, or this will set you back gigantically. And now Cameron Murray gets his ball here to the 40. Cameron Murray to the 40. Oh, it's one of those body counts, Jay. Isaiah Yo, third tackle now, 25 metres out. You got to hold strong. You're 35 metres out, sorry. Nah, Skunkle, it's one of those body counts, bro. And now Mitchell Barnett's going to be 20. Oh, that's a penalty. Yep. Take the 2. 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 Australia. Take the 2. Take the 2. I say. Take the 2. Take the 2. I would have challenged that if I was New Zealand. That shouldn't be a penalty. But then again, when Australia challenged, we lost a challenge when it should have been a penalty as well. So I have no sympathy in that regard. New Zealand hard done by, but Australia were also hard done by in regards to the original penalty that lost our challenge. So, you know. Minute 32 to go here. Australia will extend their lead from 10-6 to 12-6. Oh, it is a Muppet, Joe. Because we get a lot of comments, and I see this on YouTube a lot, where there's random bot accounts that just like randomly spam names. They just randomly spam random names that have no relevance to any video or any topic that you're talking about. They just spam names. All right, so a minute to go here, the first half. This should be an easy kick here. Should be an easy kick. I really need that Coke Zero, man. My throat's dry as. Is anybody here actually going to stay up and watch England-Samoa with us? And Australia will kick it through. So it will be a 6-point lead for the Aussies. 12-6 with 42 seconds to go of the first half. Beautiful. B-E-A. Beautiful, son. Why does every young lad have a mullet nowadays in Australia? Why? Why is everyone mulleted up like a Ned Brockman beautiful mullet? Like, Ned Brockman might be the most beautiful Australian that ever existed, but like, why has everyone got a mullet? That account has a 2-word vocabulary, and I see it around a bit. I'll be away for the late game. See you there, son. All right, Mitchell Barnett. 8 seconds to go here. Strong run, but that should be the end of it. 4 seconds. They might get one play the ball here. And they do get to play the ball. And they're going to try it. They're going to try it. Hamiso steps on the inside. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, son. That is the end of the first half here. 12-6 to Australia at halftime. Tom Trbojevic had a good strong half there. You saw... I thought Keanu was pretty decent for the most part, but made a couple of defensive inefficiencies. Unfortunately, Keanu. You look at the play stats here for the Kiwis. Obviously, yeah, Keanu 111 metres. Is only behind Nafar, who won 114, which is impressive. Nafar, who White's been their best forward pretty clearly. And 2 tackle breaks there. What else is there? Let's go have a look at the tackles. Tackles made so far, 14. Fisher Harris, 23 tackles, none missed. Griffin Dean, 14 tackles, none missed. Joseph Tarbany, 16 tackles, none missed. 31. Wow, Phoenix Crossan, 31 tackles, 2 missed. That's actually really, really good. And, quite a few non-missed tackles there. You go to Australia on the other side, you've got the highest ball runner is Tom Trbojevic with 105, which comes from that broken down play, the broken play. The forwards aren't necessarily going crazy in regards to the run meters. 80 meters for Cameron Murray is solid. 83 for Paddy Carrigan. 78 for Lindsay Collins. So they're all doing very similar numbers there. Mitchell Barnett, 62, who's off the bench too. So he's doing numbers and getting to the similar guys as the starters, despite coming off the bench. And then you go and have a look in regards to tackle breaks, a couple for the back line, but not too much for the forwards. And defensively, 29 tackles, 1 miss for Harry Granson, really good. 18 tackles, no miss for Crichton is huge. Isaiah Yeo, 32 tackles for only the 1 miss is brilliant. Ruben Cotter hasn't missed a tackle through 12. Overall, there's not really too much bad defense going on from both teams, and that's why this game is so close at 12-6 at half time, man. So, yeah, look, good stuff here. Enjoying it. Good to see it. It's a close game. I'm going to run off and grab myself a Coke Zero, guys. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes' time. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'll be back in just a few moments. I don't know why I've come back and the first comment is no pants stream. I think you need help, Mr. Andrew Backhouse. I think you need help. Hadahoni Liparata says Kiwis win 21-16. I think you and I both know that's not even going to be close to happening. We need to rename this segment as Jay's Conspiracy Segment. He said, this stream needs more cheerleaders. Mate, I am the cheerleader. I am the cheerleader. First half line was -5.5. Well, I thought that would have been quite an easy line. -5.5 is just simply the one try, so that makes a whole lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I would have jumped on that easy. I don't gamble, so. But if I was, I definitely would have jumped on that. Especially considering, like, you didn't know Australia could have gone on with it. Obviously, they didn't. But that 2 points there was huge. They're obviously too getting that across the line, but it wasn't an easy one. But that's why I said the -11.5 and the +11.5 was really difficult. A really nice line that the betting agencies put up. I think that's very fair. I would say right this very second, I wouldn't be surprised if the Australian -11.5 does get up. I could see this being like a 18-6 or maybe like a 24-12. I could see that happening. And that's probably what it's mostly looking like right now. I'm surprised that there's been 275, there's been 55% of votes for New Zealand. I am surprised with the way that's been going. I understand a lot of Kiwis would have come in and voted for them. But with that being said, right about this very second, I definitely do think that Australia is in not just the advantage scoreline-wise, but have really kind of taken a lot more control of the middle comparatively to the beginning of the game, where the Kiwis owned it for the first probably 25-30. Olivia Reed says, hey everyone, hello Olivia, how we doing? Getting around Australia today? You big Aussie? You big old Aussie? You're about to tell me you're a Kiwi, and I know you're a Kiwi, but you're actually getting around Australia today because you like Paddy Carrigan. You either like Paddy Carrigan in Australia, or you don't like Paddy Carrigan in New Zealand. Which one you taking, Olivia? Which one you taking? Which one you taking, Olivia? It's a great question. It's a fantastic question there. It's a really strong question. You can only choose A or B. You can only choose A or B. If you choose New Zealand, you hate Paddy Carrigan. I'm sorry to say it, that's just how life works. Life isn't fair sometimes. You've got to come to terms with life not being fair sometimes, Olivia. That's just how the cookie crumbles. I really hope I can actually stream that game tonight. It's going to be very difficult waking up that early. It's going to be, I do want to sleep a little bit. I don't want to stay up all the whole time. I choose C and going for Tonga. Oh, wow. Well, if this game stays the same way and Australia beats New Zealand, Tonga play New Zealand next week to make the final. Whoever wins that game would play the final, and whoever loses would play in the playoff game of the promotion relegation game against more than likely Papua New Guinea. Crazy to think. And it says, what time is it again? New South Wales time, 1:30 in the morning. 12:30 a.m. Queensland, 2:30 a.m. In Fiji / New Zealand. Actually, New Zealand, you guys are an hour ahead of me, aren't you? Aren't you guys 7 p.m. right now? I feel like it is. I feel like Fiji is at 6 and you guys have got daylight savings, which makes it 7. New Zealand time. It is 7 o'clock. Yeah, so I'm right. So it'll be 3:30 a.m. for Samoa versus England. Hey mate, just tuned in. Carrigan and Yo not working that well in the field together, in my opinion. Why do you say that? I feel like they're all very similar in regards to run meters. Why do you think that Carrigan and Yo have a direct impact in regards to each other, and to say that they don't work well in the field? Like, why? What's your point behind that? Jack Lewis, 6 a.m. UK. What do you mean? No, the game is not in 6 a.m. in the UK. 2:30 a.m. It'll be like 5 o'clock afternoon, or maybe 6 p.m. UK, but it's definitely not. Oh no, it'll be earlier. It'll be like 3 o'clock, won't it? What are you talking about? I'm staying awake for it easier. No, I can't do it. Especially considering I've done 2 streams already today. If I just stayed up, it would kill me. New Zealand won the cricket. That's all I care about. It's good to see, Olivia. It's good to see, especially considering Australia play India in this test series coming up very soon as well. That will be fun to watch. We will be streaming it, especially considering that I am planning to endeavour to go to there next year. So I'm endeavouring to go there next year. That's all I'm going to say. So I really need Australia to win that series. Otherwise, I will be roasted, not just by the summer heat, but also by the cricket fans. He says, I just feel they're similar and they don't add the necessary impact, and I'm not a fan of 3 locks in the field together. I agree with that. I agree with that statement of no 3 locks in the field together. I believe that Carrigan is a lock and not a front row forward. I am happy with Murray as the 12, and I'm happy with Yo as the 13. But then maybe that doesn't leave room for Carrigan. But with that being said, you've got to remember that Payne Haas would normally be playing, and you also got to remember that Tina Fa'asuamaleaui would also be playing. So there is a change to what Australia would normally be doing, and Paddy Carrigan probably would be lining up the bench if those 2 guys are there, or they go a different direction altogether. New Zealand were still heavy underdogs for the second test despite the win earlier. Were they really? Well, I guess it was in India, so it makes sense, man. Like, in India, I would never have expected New Zealand to win by as much as they did. India were in the WTC final. I don't know what's going on with India right now in regards to cricket. Like, honestly, everything goes in their direction. They get given everything possible, but they literally own the international cricket scene. But when they lose the one-day World Cup final in India, they lose the WTC. Did they win the 2020? I remember something like that. Remember Carrigan getting bumped off by Moses Leota? When, Ponku? I'm aware you're here to troll, and your trolling's pretty shithouse, but I don't even know when you're talking about. Indian cricket's on a massive decline right now, isn't it? Not in 2020. In Test, yes. Oh, I know what the answer is here, and you guys are probably going to say it before I even say it, but the answer is IPL. The IPL is ruining Indian cricket, in my opinion, because they're so focused on the big money, the big bucks being made in the IPL, that I feel like one day, and specifically Test cricket, is suffering because of it. Luckily for Australia, people don't really give too much of a shit about the BBL. Like, they care a little bit, enough for enjoyment to come from it, but yeah, that's about it. Like, people don't really care too greatly. Ponku says grand final last year. Ponku, do you realise that if I wanted to, I'm not going to do it because I respect all the other New Zealand fans here. Do you know that I could easily roast the living shit out of your rugby league Do you understand that from an Australian's perspective, that it's laughable that you're trying to have like some superiority complex over an Australian because you won one game 30-0 in a game that had nothing to do with any kind of World Cup, it had nothing to do with any like Four Nations or anything. It was a Pacific Championship, but like cool. Like we flogged the week before. Do you realize that we could go back through history over and over and over again and see where Australia has whooped the living shit out of New Zealand on a consistent basis? But we can't. We're not going to do that because I have too much. I care for the other New Zealanders here. But I don't understand you. We really strange superiority complex based off of one result last year, man. Nobody cares. Do it again. Beat us again. You're currently losing 12-6. Go and do it again, man. Your country isn't actually that successful when it comes to rugby league comparatively to Australia. If you want to talk shit to Samoa and Tonga and Fiji, Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea, England, whatnot, be my guest because you've won more World Cups than England have. But I don't understand this real weird comparison that you have as if like you think that you have an advantage over Australia. Like there's no advantage for you. You don't have an advantage over Australians. You don't. It's just as simple as that. And that's why you just sit back, you enjoy the game, you enjoy the stream without feeling like you need to constantly shit based off of one result from last year. One. You're basing your entire argument off of one individual result across a competition, across a sport that's been going for over 100 years now. So go back into your little box, let the adults speak here and enjoy rugby league and watch the game. And just remember, little brother, stay down there in the corner and let us enjoy the game. All right, thank you. So here it says they won the grand final at T20, but I feel it's weird so many World Cups. And they once again won in a tournament where cricket isn't popular in the US and tacky wickets. No, I agree. I definitely agree. IPL is India cricket now. Well, IPL is in India. It is in India, Andrew. And just a reminder for all the other New Zealand fans here that just listen to that, that's not directed at you. That's just directed at that idiot. Lag and Balzac says, fun fact, since New Zealand 2008 World Cup win over Australia, New Zealand have only beaten Australia 3 times on all international comps in professional rugby league. To make it much says, sure, love how you speak your mind, bro. As New Zealand ain't that great in league, but the Aussies are kind of this game. Absolutely, bro. But that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to insult all Kiwis there. I'm not trying to kind of like put all Kiwis in their place. I'm just replying to an idiot who feels like they just have to like, constantly remind people about one individual game as if like that's the be all and end all. You know, and they don't want to talk about the fact that the week prior, literally 7 days prior, Australia won 32-16 over New Zealand. So that proves right there that it's a very individual game. So it's like, it's not that I'm trying to insult New Zealand. I'm just trying to insult that person whilst reminding them about the fact that they are well over their head in regards to conversating about something that it doesn't make sense from their perspective. So, yeah, it's not me trying to insult New Zealand. I love New Zealand. I was in New Zealand this year, and I enjoyed it greatly. And it's a good rivalry here. But people like that need to learn a little bit of a lesson. Axel says, the gap is definitely closed when it comes to scores now. That's all we need. I agree. I don't disagree with this one. I don't disagree. I feel like New Zealand definitely are a lot closer than they have been in the past. However, it does go ebbs and flows. It does go up and down. It's not like I want to see it consistently from New Zealand again. They've only, as someone just said, they've only won 3 times since 2008 against Australia. That was 15, 16 years ago. So if they go and win this game today, fantastic, right? It'd be massive. If they go and beat Australia in the Combank Stadium final, if they make it there, provided they make it there, not an insult, just a fact in regards to they haven't made it yet. So if they go and do it there, then sure, absolutely. The scores are closer, but at the end of the day, you want to win the game. So I understand the perspective of at least compete as a Titans fan and as a Bulls fan and sporting fan of all different teams, but even Socceroos and the Wallabies. And don't worry, you guys can absolutely shit on me. I went to Auckland with this skunkle muppet who's in the chat. We went to Auckland for the Titans-Warriors game. Can't talk shit about the Titans-Warriors this year, but I went there and we went to the All Blacks Museum. I got roasted the entire time, and deservedly so. The Wallabies suck, man. The Wallabies suck. At least New Zealand in rugby league are competitive. The Wallabies, not so much, man. So, yeah, I'm very well aware of the situation for all the different sporting teams and whatnot. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to insult New Zealand. I'm just insulting that bloke. Treasure says, New Zealand did well in league for only 19k players versus like 200k players. No, I'm not even going to begin on that one. That's incorrect. I'm not even going to begin on replying to that. So here it says, even as an Aussie, I can't take India lightly despite the Honor loss. I don't know what that means. BGT, they'll be hungry, but we do have a good test balance side. Also, thoughts on Davey wanting to return for test retirement? No, thank you. But in regards to India, never take them lightly, mate. Never take them lightly. That's their pure sport. That's their big-time sport. Anyway, Australia, Harris... Someone had a sign saying Kamala Harris with a cross, Fisher Harris with a tick. That's hilarious. Anyway, they're out in the field here, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe for new round tier. Let me know your thoughts about the game. Connor Wood says, if the Kiwis players didn't play in the NRL, they would not be up to the standards they are now. Yes, but I don't understand your point there. Like, sure. Sure, okay. I don't disagree with you, but what's the point that you're trying to make in regards to what we're speaking about? Sorry, I just had to refresh that stream of the game there. Haruhoni Wiparata says, Kiwis need to stop relying on SJ. I don't think that SJ was necessarily the right selection here, but also who do they go with otherwise, considering that Jerome Hughes is injured and so is Dylan Brown, so is Kieran Foran. It's like the guys that they would normally have in the halves aren't able to play right now. I think Chanel Harris-David is also injured potentially. Or no, he's Samoa, sorry. He's Samoa. So, Tamati Martin may be the one injured. Is he injured, Warriors fans? I can't remember. But I'm surprised why he hasn't been selected. 4 tackle here for New Zealand, and they're going to be getting this ball here to the 35. Wish the Wallabies were more competitive. Andrew, mate, you're preaching the convert on that one, brother. You're preaching the convert on that. Oh, yeah, bought a Gavaskar trophy. But you preached the convert on that one. So Johnson will kick it, and Australia will get the ball here at the 15. You go for Dylan Walker. What? And Zach Lomax will grab the ball and be taken down at the 13. A little bit of a mistake at the back there. I was listening to Bloke the other day with Hello Sport. Can be said if Bronx aren't in the finals, they go for Cows, or Queensland teams go for each other. Your thoughts? Personally, I call bullshit. Oh, it's a weird one, man. It depends on the individual. I feel like the answer is Broncos may do that. I think Broncos fans might support some, though. Like, I know a lot of Broncos fans who hate the Titans and hate the Cowboys, hate the Dolphins. I feel like that's an old school mentality. Knock on Australia here. New Zealand bought the 45. That's huge. That's huge. I feel like it's an old school mentality. I disagree nowadays. I feel like people hide behind that because I know a lot of... for example, I'm not supporting the Broncos in the finals. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I refuse to. I guess I'll support the Cows. I don't mind the Cows to do well. The Dolphins, I don't really want to see do well because they are the new team compared to us. So the Warriors don't want the Titans to win a comp before the Warriors, and the Titans don't want the Dolphins to win a comp before the Titans, right? So it's like down the line. The Dolphins won't want this next team from Papua New Guinea or whatever to be the team to beat them to a title because they haven't done it yet, right? It's like getting there first. But let's get through this set here. Anyway, I disagree, but the mindset is old school. I feel like Broncos, Cowboys back in the day maybe, but not anymore. Second tackle now for New Zealand at the 30. 37 minutes to go here of the game. Can New Zealand draw level just after half time? Fisher Harris with a huge hit and be taken down 23 metres out here for the line. That's not the point. Anyway, we're not going to get into that conversation, bro, because I can respond to it, but it's very in-depth, man. So 4th tackle here at 11 metres out, because it's incorrect, but that's not... It needs to be responded to in long form. So 5th tackle now, New Zealand 8 metres out. 5th tackle for New Zealand 8 metres out. I don't have time while I'm commentating the game to go into it, but... Ask me on a stream when it's a blowout or something like that, and I'll explain. So 5th tackle, and that's going to be a dropout coming up here from Australia to New Zealand. That is a good set there from the Kiwis. They don't score, but you know they keep putting pressure on Australia in regards to being on their attacking line. Dylan Walker over SJ. No, Dylan Walker's better. Oh, that's a great kick from Australia. Unlucky with the bouncing back there for Griffin Neame, but that was a great kick from Australia, and Griffin Neame would take it down 45 metres out of the line. So I'd say SJ been kicking good though, but Crossland has some weird passes. Is that guy just creating like different accounts, Jay? I'd say SJ been kicking good though, but Crossland has some weird passes. Yeah, Crossland's an interesting one, but there's no one else really they can select. Who else would you select? New Zealand fans in the chat, can you let us know who would you select over Crossland the hooker, or would you say that Crossland is your best hooker right now? I guess you can use Brandon Smith, but I would disagree right this second. A couple of years ago, sure. 4th tackle now. A couple of years ago, definitely. Sean Johnson gives it to Niakore. Niakore out to Chadnell Klokstad. And Timoko will be 5 metres out. I think the bigger issue is that Nickel Klokstad is the 6. So New Zealand 4 metres out. Sorensen off to Johnson. Johnson kicks it through. It's going to bounce off the post. It's going to be a dropout. They're going to check it. I'm pretty certain they know it's going to be a dropout. I'm pretty certain Australia touch it. So no try. I think Australia will try and get the ball in. Trent says Australia should be good at league, only them and PG take it seriously with pockets here and there. Incorrect. New Zealand also put money into the sport, just not as much as rugby union. You can't try and come on, man. Like this isn't the place to pretend like we don't know what's happening here. Like, come on. You can't tell me that New Zealand doesn't care about rugby league. You can't tell me that New Zealand shouldn't have any right to be good on rugby league because they only care about rugby union. Rugby league is very clearly number 2 sport and is growing significantly in New Zealand as well. Like, come on, man. Australia also has AFL to contend with, rugby union to contend with, football to contend with. There is so many sports to contend with in this country, right? So come on, man. But this is a point. This is a long conversation for another day, man. Yeah, so there's the Australian touch by Dylan Edwards. So it's a dropout coming up. As a Titans fan, is there anything you're wishing for from the 2025 draw? Yeah, Dylan Edwards grounds it, so it'll be a dropout. No try. Not really, man. Not really. As a Dragons fan, I don't hate the Sharks, I just hate the Eels. Speak for yourself. A lot of Dragons fans hate the Sharks, a lot of Sharks fans hate the Dragons, but I don't think that's a fierce rivalry like a lot of other rivalries are. So drop out here by the Australians. It's a short one. They go up for it, but Kiwis get it at 13. Good grab. Kid been playing real well. Has had a few mistakes defensively, for sure. However, he has been playing very good on attack. But Keanu has had a very good debut offensively, for sure. Just defensively, there has been a slight couple of issues. So second tackle, like for example, that first try for Lindsay Collins. So they go left-hand side near quarter. He's going to be 5 metres out. Here we go. Can New Zealand score right now? Third tackle. Here they come. Can the Kiwis get over the line? Crossland out to Johnson. They got numbers. Wow, that's a defensive tackle there from Dylan Edwards. Maybe I should take my words back because Reece Welsh and Callum Ponga, I don't think are making that tackle. Reece Welsh and Callum Ponga are not making that tackle there. Oh, Biffo. There's a bit of a Biffo. There's a little bit of a Biffo here. Hey, there's a Biffo! Smack him. Someone smack each other. Someone smack each other. That's great, Trajan. Well, guess what? The league's only in pockets in Queensland and also New South Wales, comparatively to Western Australia where it's not, Perth, Northern Territory where it's not much, South Australia where it's not much, Tasmania. You're very limited in the mindset you're having here. You're trying desperately to make sure that people think that New Zealand just don't care about rugby league, which is a literal lie. You are literally lying. Whether that be to yourself or to us, we can all understand that. But you're lying to yourself if you think that New Zealand don't care about rugby league. If you think that New Zealand is only small in rugby league, you are way out of your depth in this conversation. And if you go and have a look at the numbers domestically in regards to Super Rugby to NRL, I can tell you right now, NRL is growing significantly. I can tell you right now, the All Blacks numbers aren't the same as it once were. So let's just, come on. Let's be fair to the game here and not pretend like New Zealand is some minnow nation. Right, it's not true. Fit tackle here. New Zealand kick this ball into the corner. Here we go. Good catch by Zaki Lomax. But it is a penalty here to New Zealand. Penalty here to New Zealand. Disordered frequencies up the mighty All Blacks. Much better than my Wallabies, that's for sure. Oh, man, please save me from this Wallabies nonsense. I just said there's more netball players. You're stupid, bro. I can't even respond to you. He's talking about netball being a bigger sport than rugby league in New Zealand. This guy is a buffoon. He's a buffoon. I can't even bother responding to you. You're so deluded. It's delusional. You're delusional if you do not think that New Zealand is very, very clearly rugby league second to union and growing. FYI. It's a fact. It's a stat. I don't know what you're drinking tonight. Maybe vodka mixed with bloody bounty rum from Fiji, but you're off your rocker. So first tackle now for New Zealand. They're 11 metres out of the line. I bet he plays netball. Wouldn't surprise me. Second, and that's not a shot at netball. It's a shot at that guy. Second tackle now, 15 metres out. Here come New Zealand. They've got great opportunities here. Can they put it over the line? Griffin Neem gives it off to Fisher Harris. Fisher Harris gets a good flick out the back to Crossland. Crossland near Corey. Keanu Kenny. Go Keanu. Taking out the 20. Can we all just agree on at least Eddie Jones' loss this weekend? Mate, Eddie Jones losing is real sexy stuff. Oh, near Corey. And that was hilarious. That was huge. Right, left-hand side, mate, to Moko. Good defense from the Aussies at the moment. This is starting to fire up, though. Kiwis are fired up. You can feel the intensity. It's only a 6-point game. Chance Neil Klukstad. He gets away from one. And he'll be taking that 8 metres out. Didn't like that from the 5'8". Oh, he called held, so it will be fit tackle at the 8. Do you think New Zealand... I'll respond to this in a second. Sean Johnson kicks his ball across 13 metres out. Play on, fit tackle. Who's going to get the ball? Rush up. Sean Johnson kicks the ball again after getting the second opportunity. Slip over. Oh, no way. It's a penalty. Oh, my gosh. Australia all over the shop here. New Zealand, you have to score now. You have to score now, man. New Zealand, you have to score off of this opportunity. You're getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. You have to score right now. You can't come away from this little frenzy without a try. Do you think New Zealand fans claim the victim card too much? Rugby fans, not cricket, just to be clear. I think there's bad calls for sure, but I think that on a significant level, yes, but everyone does. I will put that out there too. Warriors is because they've got a large fan base. Warriors because they've got a large fan base, you hear it more significantly, but everyone cops bad calls and all fans will blame referees. So first tackle now for New Zealand. That's all fans of all clubs. First tackle now. Crossland, 3 metres out to Tarpany. He's going to be 2 metres short here of the line. That's a penalty. Yep. I would nearly start to consider a bin. Like, if I'm Klein, I'm saying to them right now, you give away another penalty or a 6 again, I'm binning you. I feel like there's going to be a bin coming up. I feel like Australia's, if they can't get themselves in check right now, there's going to be a bin. All right, so it's going to be near Corey. There's going to be 8 metres out of the line. Did Klein warn him? I didn't even hear him warn the Aussies at all. So maybe there isn't a warning. You're not going to beat him if you haven't warned him, which should have been the case. You should have warned him. So that's going to be Papali'i, second tackle here, 5 metres out. Good defence by Australia. New Zealand do need to score off this opportunity. 6 again. You can't quite a 6 again, man. Anyway, first tackle now for New Zealand, 3 metres out. That was incorrect by Klein. Whatever. Sean Johnson gets it out right-hand side here. Oh, they're over the sideline. Australia's defence, phenomenal. Wrong play by Sean Johnson. Jermaine Isaac over the sideline. That is the wrong decision there from Sean Johnson. In no way are you challenging Xavier Coates' speed and Hamiso Tabuai's Fido's speed. They are 2 of the fastest players in rugby league. They are 2 of the fastest players in the NRL. Why would you challenge the short side play there with a very tight angle of Isako, who is nowhere close to being faster than Xavier Coates and Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow? That was also on his second or third tackle. Way too early there, Sean Johnson. He should be way more experienced to provide his winger there. I don't blame Isako. Isako was just doing what his halfback tells him to. Isako was designed to play from his halfback. The pass should not have come just then. He put him under way too much stress. So he says, Estee, love you, but sucked in, baby. Andrew Baker says, all fans blame ref excessively. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lagan Ball says, I hope Ponku cries because of that. Mitchell Barnett taken down at the halfway point. 30 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are new around here. Harry Grant, he'll go right-hand side, short play. Good tackle there by Chancellor Klokstad. Stopped a brilliant run through there by Mitchell Moses. Harry Grant off to Tom Dearden, and Dearden's going to put that ball up into the corner. It's a good kick. It's a good chase. It's caught by Australia and lost ball by Australia. Lost ball, so it's going to be a New Zealand ball here at the 15. 30 minutes to go. Smack that thumbs up button, subscribe. At least we've got a good game here, baby. We've got a great game on our hands right now. Right now. Not even going to reply to it, Joe. Not even going to reply to it. Guy's a literal clown. Oz scoring next would just take the Kiwis overall. Yeah. I'd nearly go as far as say next try scored probably wins the game. I think this game is so tight right now that whoever scores next probably wins the game. Australia scores next. I don't see New Zealand being able to come back from 12 points down. If New Zealand score next, they've got all the momentum, and I feel like they go on with it. So, right this very second is what I'm saying. This game could change in 10 minutes' time. But right this very second, that's how the game is feeling, that whoever scores next probably goes on with this game. Keanu Kenny will be taken down here, 45 metres out, fit tackle. They roll back to Crossland. Crossland up to Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson into the corner. And it's going to be Dylan Edwards who grabs his ball now at the 5. Back to the 10. And Hiku. No, to Mock. No, it is Hiku. Taking him down at the 10. And now Xavier Coates. This is good defense. The intensity of this game right now is great. This is international 40 at its best right now. Hamiso at the 25, at the 30. It's a good hit, but he gets away from it. Third tackle. Hiku is looking like that he wants a really big highlight play right now, which is either going to be very hit or very miss. It's either going to be a huge highlight play or it's going to be a sin bin. It's either going to be a huge highlight play or a massive sin bin. So here says, yep, agreed, momentum is key at the moment. Chris Cavalier says, Yank here, why have a Bulls hat on for this? 1, because I streamed the Chicago Bulls on the channel today. 2, because I do what the hell I want. 3, because I'm Australian and I do what the hell I want. So it's going to be there's going to be New Zealand taken down here at the 21st tackle. Thanks for tuning in though, mate. We'll see you on the Bulls stream in 2 days' time. First tackle, and they'll go left-hand side up to Keanu Kinney, and Keanu Kinney taken down now. I have also got a White Sox shirt on for you as well, if that upsets you even more. Second tackle here at the 20. New Zealand intensity is so big. It is, yeah. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Peta Hiku, you're washed over the hero. Well, not necessarily. Like, he could come up with a huge play. It's a very 50-50. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. It's as simple as that. He's either going to get binned or he's going to get the highlight play. So Fitz tackled here at the halfway point. And Johnson kicks his ball down. And post there. It actually ends up being a good kick because of that. And Xavier Coates is forced to bring out of the end goal and brings that to the 10. I feel like Shaun Johnson's kicking game today has been pretty solid. Not much of a complaint about that one. It upsets me he should be a Red Sox shirt. Well, it's funny because I'm not even a White Sox fan. I'm a Cubs fan, right? So I shouldn't be wearing it. But I just like the shirt. Tom Dearden. Oh, so close. It's a great tackle from Shaun Johnson. If he doesn't make that tackle correctly, that's a game over, man. Tom Dearden gets away, and then there's going to be plenty of Australians there in support. 4th tackle at 30. At least this is a great game that's going down to the wire. Very similar to what happened with Australia-Tonga last week, however. Very similar. Australia, Harry Grant gives it to Tom Dearden, and he's going to dig that one to the corner. Is that a 40-20? It's not. It's not. No, it was just outside the 40. It's a good kick. Jordan Ricky's about to come on here. I'm surprised Jordan Ricky's even still getting selected for New Zealand. Jordan Ricky's been super poor for the Broncos for a little bit now. But Jordan Ricky will come onto the field. He will come onto the field here. And New Zealand now will get this ball to the 15. And now to the 25 on second tackle. Close as a game, and that's exactly what we want to see. Peta Hiku, he'll be taken down. No, again, it's not Peta Hiku. Again, it was Zai Babali. Who'd ever replace him, Ricky? I actually don't know the depth of the New Zealand back row. Oh, Britton Nakora would, normally. I'd say Isaiah Papali'i and Britton Nakora. That's close to forward pass, but sure. Fit tackle here at the 40. Yeah, commentary said it looked to be a forward pass. I think it was a forward pass, but okay. And now Australia will get the ball to 5. Really good, strong hit there from Jordan Ricky. That was a good, strong hit. That's what you would expect from the fresh man come on the field. Dylan Edwards now. He's going to bring it out to the 10 and a good intensity right now. At least 685 Sam or welcome to BKR supporter. Get around you. Appreciate you for jumping on. Zach Lomax now. He'll get this ball to the 15. Third tackle. New Zealand, good defense. Are holding them down here strongly. Harry Grant gives it off now to Hudson Young, who's just come onto the field. And he'll get crunched down in the tackle by Charles Neil-Croxad. Neil-Croxad defensively has probably been fine today. He's probably been one of the better today defensively, but attacking-wise, there's been a lot to be desired. Harry Grant and Moses, they only got about 30 metres from that set, and it's a big boot down to the 10. Helps big. So here's the crowd's really getting into this. Yeah, I've been in New Zealand for, that Warriors game, and I can tell you, they are loud and they are strong, man. They are strong. This guy's obsessed, bro. By the way, bloke who's making fake accounts, I ain't the one who's hiding you. There's a reason we have moderators, bro. And I'm glad they're hiding you because you're clearly a tosser who's off the Richter scale. Bro, seek help, man. Look at all the fake accounts you're creating. Man, get a grip. Go watch somebody else. It's not that difficult, brother. So 4th tackle now for New Zealand. I'll get this ball here to the 44. It really isn't that difficult, man. So 4th tackle, Crossland, he'll give it out to Shaun Johnson. Oh, it's a strong run by Keanu, but he gets tackled, but he gets the offload away. Shaun Johnson off to Griffin Neame. Griffin Neame at the halfway point. Now 5th tackle at the 45. He's big, man. Jay, I reckon he's crying when he's doing all these fake accounts. I reckon he's got a tear coming out of his right eye. There's no way you couldn't be crying or just red in anger from if you have the time to go and create all these fake accounts. What a saddo. What a saddo. So first tackle now, and it's going to be Australia getting the ball at 25 through Zach Lomax. 23 minutes to go here. It's only a 6-point game. 2 tries to 1. You could argue 3 if Crichton had to just put the ball down. Third tackle, Australia get the ball to the 30. He says, geez, you handle these trolls well. Idiots, man, ruin it. Mate, we've done this for a while, man. This guy, there's been plenty of guys in the past who have created, like, Jay loves them, all the 100 fake accounts. They're always fun to deal with. No, we're good, man. Yeah, I'm experienced. If you start up now and if you're getting this kind of person now and you didn't know it's your first time streaming, you'd be ruined. But I just know how to take the piss out of them and move along. Second tackle now, the 10 for New Zealand. Logan Baltic says, stick the tongue at him and say, no. May as well. No. I should do it. So New Zealand, 4 tackle here. Scotty Sorensen to the 30. Cameron Munson says, can we get Australia to play England? It's about 7 years since they've played each other. Bloody ridiculous, to be honest. It's a great point. That's a great point, yeah. Well, the last time we played England would have been the 2017 World Cup. So it would have been 7 years ago. Yeah, you're right. And I think Australia won 6-0, didn't they? They do have Australia win that game pretty comfortably, but yeah, I do think if Nathan Cleary's playing, if those guys are playing, I don't necessarily think that Mitchell Moses is the answer. I think hasn't been. I don't think Moses is an Australian halfback. I think he's a great Origin halfback. I think he's a great NRL level halfback. But the first 2 games here, I haven't been necessarily impressed by Moses going forward. Third tackle here at the halfway point for the Australians. The longer this game goes on, the more I'm starting to believe in that next try wins mentality. Right-hand side, Edwards off to Trebojevic. Trebojevic gives it outside to right-hand side to Lomax. Lomax gets corrupt. That's great tackle there. Good defensively by Will Warbrick. 4th tackle here. Dylan Edwards, he'll give it off to Moses. Moses underneath now. Hudson Young, 5th tackle, 15 minutes out. They score here. I don't know if the new Kiwis can come back. Harry Grant flicks it off to Lomax. Try time for the Aussies. Come on! Australia will score, take the lead 16-6 with a kick to come. Big time bopper play there. Down the right hand side, good heads up play from Harry Grant. Go down the short side, then flick it off the back to Zach Lomax. And it's just strength from Zach Lomax, man. I don't know why he's so desperate to play centers, man. I don't know why. He's one of the better wingers in the game. He's one of the better wingers in the game. He might be a complete knob off the field, but in regards to the gameplay, he's one of the best swingers in the game. Why do you so desperately want to play centre? You get the raps in the wing. You score the tries. You do what you need to do on the wing. Why is he so desperate to play centre? He didn't play well as a centre necessarily when he was at the Dragons. And then as soon as he moves to the wing, he gets the gig for New South Wales, which then provides him the ability to get the gig here for Australia. Why is he so desperate to not play in this position? I don't get what the significant difference is between being a centre and being a winger. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. Cameron Munson said it's kind of like how Corey Oates was so desperately wanted to play second row for some reason. But see, that's the thing. Corey Oates was desperately wanted. I don't think it was Corey Oates who wanted to play it, was it? I thought he was told to play second row. Am I wrong there? Because Zach Lomax himself has said he wants to and demands to play centre, and that's why he left the Dragons. I just think it's a mistake, man. I think it's a mistake. But don't forget, Blaze, Moses hasn't played football since Game 3 Origin. No, he played football last week. So 2 from 3 goals here for Lomax today. He can't throw flip passes. Well, you can't throw flip passes when you're on the wing, so it's good. 20 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Hit that like button. Do me a favour, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Showing rugby league and basketball here on the channel. Lomax from the right wing. And that will be a missed kick. So we'll say 16-6. This guy's still going. Brother, please, we'll see you next account soon. This guy's still going. Just with the next comment, say it with less tears, please, brother. Logan Volsag says, Lomax wants to be Crichton so bad. Crichton? Oh, Stephen Crichton. Like, Lomax is one of the primo wingers in the competition. Why do you want to go to a position that you are infamously known for throwing balls with flick passes over the sideline? I don't get it. Corio's playing second row, ruined his career, to be honest. That's why he's retired now. I guess you could argue that, but with that being said, look at the wingers that they've brought in. It's like they've got Selwyn Cobbo and who's the other one? Oh, like, is Jesse Arthur the other wing? Yeah, okay. I'm here for the fact that if he didn't get pushed in second row kind of capabilities, he probably would have continued. Yeah. So Isaiah Yeo now. Oh, he's lost the ball. Jeez, that helps New Zealand dramatically. That drop ball there gives New Zealand a chance. 45 metres out. I like it how he tells us who he is. I know he'll be back to tell us who he is as well. I wish I could see the comment. Oh, it's just the same comment. He's just letting us know that apparently we can't handle facts and that he's got more than one account. As if we don't know that we've already hidden about 5 to 10 of your accounts already and just don't care. So New Zealand with the ball here at the 40. Hey, baby. Ooh. Ah. I want to know how long Rugby fan lasts. Probably about 3 seconds. Hey, hey, baby. Ooh. Ah, second tackle for New Zealand at 25. New Zealand, let's see if they can get back in the game. It'd be massive if they can score a converted try because then they'd only be down by 4. He's letting us know that he has sexual relations with sheep. I did not have sex. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Bill Clinton. What a man. 4th tackle here, 10 metres out from the line. Crossland, he'll go left-hand side off to Johnson. Johnson to Griffin Neame. And Griffin Neame will run it himself 5 metres out. They've had a lot of ball in the attacking area, New Zealand, yet they haven't been able to score just yet, and that's not the play from Shaun Johnson. That is not the play from Shaun Johnson. So it will be Australia ball at 10. Great defense from Australia. To be fair, they've only given up 12 points across the first 2 games. Yeah, he didn't last 3 seconds, Andrew. He's about to go create another account, whatever. I'm today years old finding out Phoenix Crossland is from New Zealand. Didn't he play last? Wasn't he in the team last year? Am I incorrect? Was he not in the team last year? So Hudson Young, he'll get this ball here to the 25. Is that Hudson Young? I kind of made a guess. No, it was Hudson Young. And then Paddy Carrigan here, he'll get this ball here to the 30, 3rd tackle. Hey, hey, baby. Ooh. Ah, Angus Crichton, 4th tackle to the 40. If I'm New Zealand, I'd be pretty happy with the intensity of the performance. I would be disappointed in the clinical attack. I would be disappointed that they haven't been able to score with the opportunities they've had. But I would also be able to respect that Australia's defense has been incredible, even though New Zealand's defense has been solid for the most part too. I would be above average happy. I'd be content on a positive level if I was New Zealand with this performance, regardless of the scoreline. Cheese was in it when he wasn't injured. Yeah. Brandon Smith probably was the 9 and Kieran Foran was the 14. Crossland's played for New Zealand before too, though. I don't understand the young pick for Oz. Yeah, I'm not a big certainty of it either. Cody Nickreema's about to come on for the New Zealand team, by the way. I don't really understand the Hudson Young selection either. They go over the top here. Wow, that commentary needs to really clarify what they're saying with that name. Left-hand side, he will Warbrick for the Kiwis. He'll be taken down 20 metres out, 4th tackle. It was a great run. Yeah, we don't have Tino and Haas, absolutely. Because then you've got Lindsay Collins on the bench and all that kind of jazz. Right-hand side, Paddy Carrigan off to Jermaine Sarko. Is Sarko taken down 10 metres out from the line, 5th tackle. Peter Hiku after Shaun Johnson. Shaun Johnson kicks that ball across. That, I get the thought process. Try time for the Kiwis. Lomax, that is awful defensively. Zach Lomax, that is awful defensively, and New Zealand will score, and they're back in the game. It's 16-10 with the kick to come. Zach Lomax, wake up. That is ridiculous. To the fact that he bought in on the step. Like, there's no way that Will Warbrick actually had the advantage over him until Lomax made a decision too early. What a move, what a kick cross point. Like, the kick ended up working out. It was a good kick, but Lomax, bro, that's poor. Will Warbrick, well done on the step, but Lomax, that was pathetic. That was pathetic from Lomax. So score all the tries you want, man, but you got to do better than that defensively. That's just a free try for Warbrick, man. He just allows him to get away from him on the left-hand side. Yikes. That's a big yikes. I'm crying as he's our future centre. Again, that's not normally what you're going to see there from Zach Lomax, but that was really poor individually. You can't assume where a player is going to go. You can't assume. So instead of going for the direct player, he's going for the fact that he believes that Warbrick is going to go this way rather than anywhere else. Instead, he really needs to own that middle part of it so that he doesn't, whatever option, he's there. Because he has the ground. He's in the area. Warbrick doesn't go to the left-hand side, onto the sideline around him if he's standing up straight, because he has to run around like that. He doesn't have that option, right? So if Lomax had just stayed in the position that he was, he actually has that covered. He actually would have had that covered. So Isako will miss the kick, so it stays a 6-point game. That's a big miss, man. That's a big miss. That is a big miss. Nigel Payne's nice try, big baby Lomax. Hey, listen, I'm not going to deny that at any stage. Like, look at that. Like, Lomax, you have... if you stay upright, you make the tackle. But he goes for the inside play when he didn't get told. There was nothing to say that Warbrick was going inside. He just assumed he was, which gave a freebie try to Will Warbrick. All right, 14 minutes to go. Well, at least Australians can sit back and be thankful that that wasn't a converted try, because it means now that it's still a 6-point game. Actually, question for the people in the chat. Do you know if this is... Firstly, do you know the Muffin Man? Secondly, get around Biggie Bagel. But thirdly, the most important question here behind Biggie Bagel is there extra time in the Pacific Championship? In the group stage? I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to this, because there wasn't an extra time last year in any of the group stage matches. And that's across Pacific Cup and Pacific Bowl. So is there extra time in this tournament? Obviously the final, yes, but in the group stage, I don't know. Because if that is to be the case, if it's just a draw at the end of the 80, well then Australia automatically make the final and it's still down to New Zealand Tonga next week. So fit tackle now. Karen Munson says, Simo was gone, so it should improve defensively for the Eels. It's not like their options are incredible. I thought of that. Biggie Baby lost a coffee cup. It's cup your coffee, and don't ever remind me that again. Keanu! Go, Keanu! Go, Keanu! At the 20. It's fit tackle here, Keanu. You got to do something with it. Throws the ball at the back, and Australia get the ball in. Keanu's going to do better there. I liked it until I didn't. Silva was one of my favourites to watch, but Eels had to let him go. His defense was so ass and couldn't catch a high ball. Sivo just doesn't have the same energy he had in 2019. He can score tries, sure, but there's a lot more to being a winger than scoring tries. He's lost the ball. That's a penalty. Yeah, high tackle. They're going to call high tackle here. It's the correct call. There's not exactly a significant amount of better wingers in replacement at the moment, to be fair. Oh, there is no golden point. They've just told us in the commentary. There is no golden point in the group stage matches. So if New Zealand were to convert the try... Oh, foul play for a trip. Up at the trip. I think people forget that Simo was only 35. I do not forget. It's crazy how they just changed the rules in regards to tripping overnight and just didn't let anybody know. Like, is that not crazy to anybody else? Or is it just crazy to me? That literally a trip was always a sin bin back in the day, like 2 years ago, and then this year we saw multiple trips that were never called. And it's just on report. Now we don't see trips get binned at all. It's crazy to me that they change rules without letting anybody know. Second tackle now, 33 metres out. Harry Grant goes left-hand side off to Isaiah Yo, and Yo is going to be 25 out, taken back to the 30, third tackle. I believe that Sivo was arguably the best winger in the comp in 2019. 4 tackle here at the 20. Oh, 6 again for Australia. This could be it. If Australia score here, that's game. If Australia score on this set, it's game over. Second tackle now, 15 metres out. That clear trip isn't a sin bin. Well, we saw many this year. Tedesco gave a trip once. There was actually multiple throughout the year that just were only called reports. Moses to Isaiah Yo, and Yo is going to be 10 metres out. You don't consider a field goal, do you? It's too early. You don't risk the 7 tackle set. All right, Harry Grant. He'll go left-hand side. I actually have liked Harry Grant's play from dummy half today. They flick the ball at the back to Harry Grant, off to Moses. Moses now to Lindsay Collins, and Collins is going to be 4 tackle, 10 metres out. I also love how the disruptive rule was gone on the snap, but still gives a peekaboo penalty every now and then. Yeah, it's exactly. You're spot on. Lindsay Collins now. Should be 22-10. There's also that option there, Daz. 5th tackle for Australia, and... Oh, I thought they were going to call penalty for a second. Harry Grant off to Moses. Moses at the back to Din. Din will get taken down on 5th tackle, 13 metres out. That was ridiculous. 10 minutes to go here, guys. 10 minutes to go. Hit the like button and subscribe. 10 minutes to go here of Australia versus New Zealand. It is 16-10. 6-point ball game. The game is well and truly on at the moment. Plenty of time to go here for New Zealand to try and equal it up. But it is very beneficial for Australia because New Zealand have to score twice if they want Australia to not be automatically in the final, because New Zealand drawing would still mean they have to beat Tonga next week. And I'm telling you right now, Tonga will be a difficult game for them. And the only difference is that Tonga's halves aren't good enough, but their forwards will match it toe-to-toe with them. After watching last week and watching this week, Tonga will give it a really good go against New Zealand. I would not guarantee New Zealand the win, even though I would favour them for sure. 5th tackle now at the 33. Nikarima, he'll pass it off to Sean Johnson. That's a good kick. That's a good kick. I think that's knocked on there by New Zealand. I think, yeah, it is. Knock on New Zealand. Lucky, because Australia knocked it on after New Zealand did. Karen Mudd said, this New Zealand side is one of the worst ones in a long time. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Like, they're better. It's definitely worse off than last year, but we've seen some average-ish teams in the past. Like, I would say the halves are where my biggest issues lie. Obviously, if Jerome Hughes and Dylan Brown were playing, it'd be a different story. Do I think they win this game? Probably. I feel like they probably win this game with Jerome Hughes and Dylan Brown in the team. But then again, if Nathan Cleary and Cameron Munster are playing, do I feel like Australia win by more? Sure. Do I think if Cameron Munster and Nathan Cleary are playing comparatively with Dylan Brown and Jerome Hughes, then I would say Australia still wins. But if you're playing Dylan Brown and Jerome Hughes against this Australian squad, then I would have had New Zealand to win this game. So 4th tackle, Harry Grant off to Isaiah Yo to Mitchell Moses to Dylan Edwards here up the middle. This is game over. Mitchell Moses right next to the post. Dylan Edwards right on through. That's game, man. Call it quits. 20-10 with a kick to come. Thanks for coming. It was a great game. New Zealand really put in an effort. But that, my friends, is what I would say the game clincher. And Dylan Edwards with a huge breakaway there. Breaks on the inside of Matty Tomoko and Chancellor Klukstad. And Mitchell Moses following up underneath. Gets the try right on next to the post. And Ponku is in trouble. But it's like, I'd even go as far to argue, like, okay, Cameron Munster, sure, but you could say the same thing about Australia. No Tino, no Payne, no Nathan Cleary, no Cameron Munster. You know, they've got, they don't have Ben Hunt, even though he could be available, so that's not going to be inclusive. But no Kalen Ponga, if you want to even go that far, but again, it's not a selection. Like, you could make the argument for both sides. Edwards has bounced back from last week. Goodbye. Absolutely, Logan Ball Sacks. I also will point out, because you've just reminded me, considering you're a Bulldogs fan, Logan Ball Sacks, what is the purpose of Matt Burton in the team? They don't use him. What is the point of Matt Burton being selected in the team? Why not just bring on another forward? I don't get it. Like, there's no purpose to Matt Burton in the team. They don't use him at all. So why bring him into the team? They're not obviously going to utilise him in the final unless there's an injury or whatnot. Why not have Ben Hunt as the 14 so that he could interchange with Harry Grant as they've done in the past? Like, yes, this is working, but it's just this serves no purpose in regards to Matt Burton. If Tom Dearden got injured, then I'm sure someone's going to be able to come. Like, you put Ben Hunt there. Like, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't. That serves the same purpose serves the same purpose. I get that if Dearden gets injured, then Burton goes in, but it just doesn't make sense, the selection of Burton. Someone says makes a good hot drink or something. Yeah, maybe he's a good orange peeler. Maybe Mel's like, yeah, he's a great orange peeler. Maybe that's the case, because that's the only thing that I could make an answer for. I think Mel took advice from Brad Arthur and Trent Barrett and picked 4 bench players, but only used 3. Justin Holbrook's up there as well. Love Justin, great bloke. But Jaden Campbell was always given that 14 role and never got played. Unplayed like maximum 7 minutes. It's like it's just simply cover, and it's like, okay, but what a waste. Edwards has bounced back from last week. I agree, here. I agree. When I say things that are critical of players, I want to be proven wrong. I'm not one of those guys that when they say something, they want to be proven right in a negative way. Absolutely not. You want to be proven wrong, especially when it's my team. And Dylan Edwards has done great today. He's done fantastic. And sealed the game just now. 6 minutes. Mitchell Moses at the halfway point. Shaking a baby. Don't know what shaking a baby means, Reese Bell, but thank you for letting us know that you're shaking a baby. Kind of like how Brad Schneider in the grand final bloke didn't get a single minute. Well, that too. That's more understandable, but it's a similar discussion point, I guess. First tackle here for New Zealand at the 5. Oh, that's a knock on. Yep, that's definitely game. That's definitely game. Australia had the ball 10 metres out. I'm sure they're going to go for a field goal at the end of this set. With the amount of games played, should the benches not be extended to 5? Jordan Riggy. Jordan Riggy. He's very easy to get into his head at games. Like, I guess you could make the argument, Seb Watson, but I don't really want too much changed. If the players feel that's necessary, then I'd be all for it. Realistically, that should come down to the players' decision-making in regards to that being a permanent decision. Australia, right-hand side, Tom Trbojevic. Score here, and it's well and truly game over. But the scoreline wouldn't necessarily represent how close the game was for the most part. Yeah, that's a good point, Daz, mate. Brad Schneider was there because Cleary was playing injured. So there was actually a valid reason for him not playing, but still being there because Cleary was playing injured. Left-hand side of Moses. Moses crunched the tackle by Sean Johnson, but he flicks the ball at the back into Angus Crichton. Angus Crichton pushes off 1, pushes off 2, pushes off 3, pushes off 4, and taking down to the 20. Leah Massey says, go New Zealand. Hey, they've done well. They've done well, Leah. Obviously, Australia is going to get the win here today, but they have done well here in New Zealand. If I'm Australia, I'd go for the field goal right now. Nico Hines played 0 minutes in last year's grand final as well. What? Of course Nico Hines played 0 minutes in last year's grand final as well. What? He didn't play in the grand final. The team wasn't in the grand final. What? What's your point? Oh, Cameron Munster said Nico Hines played 0 minutes in the grand final a few years back. Now I get your piss taken. I didn't see that comment beforehand, Skunk, and I was like, what's your point of your comment? I was like, what's your point of your comment? But I'm sure that it's taking the piss now. Logan Baltic says, Riggy. Don't know why you got picked considering you're struggling the Bronx. I agree. And knock on? No. Knocked back by New Zealand, apparently. Fit tackle here for New Zealand at the 30. I will see you later tonight, Blaze. Have a good night. Good night, sir. Dylan Edwards now at 2:48 to go to the game. To be fair, Sammy's still a Muppet regardless. First tackle now for the Aussies. Run made is 205 for Keanu Kenny, 164 for William Warbrick, 158 for Tom Trbojevic, 151 for Zach Lomax, and 144 for Edwards. Another game for 200 plus for Kenny. Yeah, this game has been great for Kenny, but there has been definitely some negatives. There's been negatives for a lot of the Kiwi boys, and there's been negatives for some of the Australian boys, but obviously you choose to look at the positives. But defensively has been a bit of an issue for Keanu today. There has been a lot of issues defensively for him, but attacking-wise, in regards to his 200 metres, Sarko just slaps it out, but it will be a stray ball at 10. Will be a stray ball at 10. That was a really difficult play there. Xavier Coates actually nearly got that. So Australia ball here at the 10. Will they win by 13 plus? That is the question right now. Low ball thinks it's Sarko, the Titans legend, has got whacked. You shut your dirty mouth. How dare you? Harry Grant gives out the back end of Moses. Moses to Din. Din now 10 metres. Gives it back to Moses. And they're going to kick it through. Oh, no. It's going to be a try. It's going to be a knock. Oh, man. The pass looked forward. I don't think they called it, but whatever. It's a knock-on for Australia. Yeah, he did change his name because of a store here because someone literally went and found out that he worked for, what was it, Chemist Warehouse or some shit? Or like someone they knew, like a friend of his at Chemist Warehouse or some nonsense. That was funny. Mitchell said, I played the exact same amount of minutes in the grand final. Where's my 400k contract, Penrith? Hey, listen, I'm waiting, mate. You know, I'm waiting. I'm right here. He's pummy, mate. So first tackle here for the Kiwis. That second tackle at 25. 37 seconds to go here, guys. If you have enjoyed, obviously subscribe. If you haven't enjoyed, hit that thumbs up button. And if you have liked, then just thank you. There you go. Get around you. 14 seconds to go. England Samoa later tonight. Hopefully I'll wake up to my alarm. Been a big day. Oh, they've lost the ball. No, he hasn't called it. Third tackle, Kiwis. Last chance. Siren goes. Chance. Siren going. They get up to Petahiku. Petahiku flicks it back. They're just throwing the ball around here. They flick it out the back again. And again on the left-hand side here. Down by 12. They can't win the game, but they're just trying. Nafahu White gets the ball offloaded. And they give it off again. It's still New Zealand ball. They knock it on. And now, there we go. That, my friends, should be the game. That, my friends, should be the game, son. Overall, guys, good performance by the Kiwis. A better performance by the Australians. Still work for the Australians to be done. Not a perfect performance by any means. But Australia are guaranteed a spot in the final now at CommBank Stadium. Not that was a surprise to anybody. New Zealand and Tonga in a massive match next week. Whoever wins that game will play Australia in the final. Whoever loses that game will play, more than likely, Papua New Guinea in a promotion relegation game. And whoever wins that game between, say, Tonga and Papua New Guinea or New Zealand Papua New Guinea, then whoever wins that game will go in next year to the Pacific Cup, and whoever loses will actually get relegated to the Pacific Bowl. Could you imagine New Zealand losing to Tonga and then... It's not going to happen, but New Zealand losing to Papua New Guinea and having to play in the Pacific Bowl next year? That would be crazy. Again, not going to happen, but I'm just saying it would be crazy if that happened. But alrighty, guys, I'm going to jump off here for now. I appreciate you as per usual. Obviously, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around to you. Ish says minus 11.5, beautiful. Absolutely. What did I say? It was a perfect line by the bookies. It was a perfect line. It was always going to be that kind of area. And Australia get it by 0.5 of a point. And overall, good day here, man. So I'll see you guys tonight for the England and Samoa game. That'll be a big one. It's 2:30 a.m. Fiji time, 3:30 a.m. New Zealand, 1:30 a.m. Sydney time, New South Wales, and 12:30 a.m. Queensland. But alright, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.